Chapter 48:12. The surging river appeared in the cosmic ray sky, intending to destroy the entire universe. Moreover, within these rivers, there were many immortal-like islands that were faintly discernible. These were the 9 islands and 10 continents. You're overestimating yourself. Lin Ling stared at the purple ring and smirked disdainfully. At first, he thought that the purple ring was extraordinary, but then he realized that it was a ring with the power of divinity. Although the power of divinity was enormous, Lin Ling's 3 extreme universe slashes were soul power, so the power of divinity couldn't break it. Sure enough, the cosmic ray was unaffected by the endless river and the 9 islands and 10 continents. Instead, it swept through like a cage, getting closer and closer to Heavenly King Verbka. In that brief moment, Heavenly King Verbka was struck dumb. He was an ancient god who had fought hundreds of millions of battles, and had assumed that killing a junior would be as easy as flipping his hand. But now, he realized that this junior was using techniques that he had never seen before. Because of that, Heavenly King Verbka couldn't react in time. By the time he reacted, the cosmic ray was already close enough to touch his nose. Swoosh! Heavenly King Verbka didn't even make a sound before he froze. His ancient soul was sealed and cut into pieces, completely dead. Most importantly, he had 3 chances to use the Tao Realm's protection, but he hadn't used any of them. Heavenly King Verbka. Staring at Heavenly King Verbka, Dhritarashtra frowned and shouted. An ominous premonition quietly appeared in his heart. But because it had happened too quickly, so quickly that he found it hard to accept. Unfortunately, no matter how many times he shouted, Heavenly King Verbka didn't respond. He's dead. Only after Tum Wong Kung's reminder did Dhritarashtra completely accept the fact. All of a sudden, countless pairs of eyes stared at Lin Ling. All the gods stopped fighting, their bodies and minds trembling for a moment. A mid-stage high god had died, just like that. Most importantly, this was Heavenly King Verbka. It was too fast. The result was too fast, so fast that they couldn't react at all. They had imagined many possible endings, but none of them had involved Heavenly King Verbka dying in battle. Even if he was injured, even if he was taken away by a Tao Realm expert, in their hearts, he would never die. For a moment, all the deities felt their hair stand on end. No one dared to approach Lin Ling. Strangely enough, with Heavenly King Verbka's death, all battles were over, and everyone was staring at Lin Ling. I thought that this so-called 4 heavenly kings would be very powerful. I didn't expect that he would die before I even made a move. Ignoring all the burning gazes, Lin Ling smiled faintly. In fact, he himself was a little surprised. He didn't expect that after experiencing the heart realm, his soul force would skyrocket, causing the power of the universe's 3 extreme cleave to become so much stronger. Killing a mid-stage high god in one move. This meant that the 3 extreme universe destruction had been greatly improved. He could probably cultivate the 2nd extreme universe destruction. Upon hearing Lin Ling's words, the mid-stage high gods in the vicinity were filled with apprehension. They were deeply afraid that Lin Ling would kill them in an instant. None of them could see through Lin Ling. After all of this was too illogical. Your Excellency, who are you? In fact, even Tum Wong Kung felt that all of this was illogical. Therefore, he looked deeply at Lin Ling and asked. Lin Ling also looked at Tum Wong Kung and immediately sensed the rolling pressure. He knew that Tum Wong Kung was a late-stage high god expert. Now, although Lin Ling seemed powerful, in fact, he had used up all his trump cards. If Tum Wong Kung were to attack him, Lin Ling would have to use one chance of being protected by the Tao state to leave this place. However, Lin Ling also saw that Tum Wong Kung was obviously afraid of him and didn't dare to act recklessly. I'm Lei Gong Lin Ling. Lin Ling looked at Tum Wong Kung proudly. Lei Gong Lin Ling. Tum Wong Kung searched through the names in his mind. However, among the famous deities of several eras, he couldn't find the name Lin Ling. Lei Gong Lin Ling. It's him. However, among the crowd, there was a sudden exclamation of surprise. Several deities pointed at Lin Ling, their expressions constantly changing. Their faces were filled with disbelief. They had all heard of Lei Gong Lin Ling. Back when he was in the Tao state, Lin Ling had offended Emperor Shun and Emperor Yao. This was a big deal at that time. Later, Lin Ling disappeared. Some people said that Lin Ling was dead, while others said that he was secretly captured by Emperor Shun. In the end, people gradually forgot about Lin Ling. Saint Guyi is Lei Gong Lin Ling's tomb. Someone said anxiously. Saint Guyi. Tung Wang Kung's expression changed. He naturally knew about Saint Guyi. It was said that he had the bloodline of the Donghuang clan and even had the Donghuang bell with him. However, the lord of such a person. No wonder his strength was so freakish. Lei Gong's Great Hall. Tung Wang Kung suddenly thought of a name. He had heard about it before attacking Heavenly Rain Cliff. However, he did not pay much attention to it at that time. In the entire Lei Gong's Great Hall, only Saint Guyi was worthy of his attention. However, he now realized that this nameless Lei Gong's Great Hall was really extraordinary. There were many capable people. Lin Ling, you're still alive. A deity stared at Lin Ling with a strange expression. Back then, he was also one of the deities that surrounded Lin Ling, along with the White Tiger God and the others. That's right, I'm still alive. Go back and tell Emperor Yao that I, Lin Ling, have returned. Lin Ling stared at that deity. In fact, he did not know him, but he still smiled and said, perhaps Emperor Yao did not expect that in his territory, he would help his own people and cause a rift between us. Now that I, Lin Ling, have returned, let's see what he can do to me. After hearing this, the deity's expression became even more complicated. Perhaps even Emperor Yao did not expect that Lin Ling would have such a day. At that time, if Emperor Yao had said a few nice words to Lin Ling and given him enough respect, perhaps Lin Ling would have followed Emperor Yao. And Emperor Yao would probably be very happy. After all, being able to kill a mid-stage high god in an instant was not something to be underestimated in any sect. Lei Gong Lin Ling, Emperor Yao's contempt is finally retribution. If not for Lei Gong Lin Ling, we would probably have broken through Heavenly Rain Cliff by now. The other deities said one after another. For a moment, Lin Ling became the focus of the battle at Heavenly Rain Cliff. Because of his appearance, all the battles stopped. This made Yu Yu and the others excited and happy. They did not expect that after 350 years, Lin Ling would return and his strength would soar. My lord. Shen Gi's eyes were a little moist. Lin Ling was his lord. If one day he surpassed Shen Gi would never be able to catch up to Lin Ling. And this was also the reason why Lin Ling could be the lord above Shen Gi. Chapter 48:13. She admitted that she had grown quickly, but she was still no match for Lin Ling. If it were any other god, they might not have made any progress in their cultivation, let alone break through to the next realm. However, if it were Lin Ling, it could only be described as a miracle. Great, Lin Ling's appearance has caused a temporary pause in the battle. As for those from the Nine Emperors sect, they were all shocked. In the beginning, they had thought that the leader of Lei Gong's hall was an ordinary person. In this battle, he was at most the light of a firefly. But now, Lin Ling had single-handedly decided the outcome of the battle. For example, the reinforcements from the Thousand Buddha Hall and the Nine Emperors sect were no match for Lin Ling. King Tang was also shocked. This was the second time he had heard of Lei Gong Lin Ling's name, but he knew that Lei Gong Lin Ling was going to change the outcome of the battle. Now that he saw that everyone was shocked, he could not help but feel happy. Your Excellency, time waits for no one. Suddenly, a god reminded Tung Wang Kung. Tung Wang Kung's brows were tightly knitted. He had witnessed Lin Ling's strength. He had killed early-stage high gods as easily as chopping vegetables. Even mid-stage high gods couldn't withstand a single strike from Lin Ling, unless they were experts at the level of Heavenly King Verbka. However, Lin Ling still had a trump card, and it was a trump card that could kill in an instant. Instant kill. That was terrifying. Let me try. Tung Wang Kung knew that if he did not make a move, the other gods would not dare to violate the taboo of death. With a wave of his right hand, the purple ring floated out and formed a river that enveloped Lin Ling. Tung Wang Kung was very careful in this process. To be honest, he was also a little afraid of Lin Ling. The main reason was that he could not see through Lin Ling's method of instant killing. Let's try. Lin Ling's eyes narrowed. He sensed a strong and fast divine energy, so he could not see how much divine energy there was. But now, Lin Ling did not have many choices left. Tung Wang Kung. I've been looking forward to meeting you for a long time. Let me test your strength. Lin Ling suddenly let out a loud laugh. Not only did he not use any technique, he even rushed into the sky. Crazy. Everyone's eyes widened. That was because that was the divine energy of a late-stage high god. Lin Ling actually didn't resist. This. Even Tung Wang Kung's eyes narrowed. Rumble. The Violet Ring River erupted with a terrifying divine force that suppressed Lin Ling, causing Lin Ling to disappear from the rivers of the 9 islands and 10 continents. Pang pang pang. The deafening sound continued to explode, and the entire sky seemed to be collapsing. In reality, the sky was indeed collapsing and scattering down like glass. However, the primordial chi in the sky was protecting it, so it recovered after the collapse. The divine power of a superior god. Countless gods stared at the sky, their hearts trembling. Most likely, no mid-stage high god would be able to withstand such divine energy. Even if 100 high gods joined forces, they would still be obliterated in a single strike. Lei Gong Lin Ling was overconfident. I think he's dead. Someone suddenly said. Ha ha ha. Tung Wang Kung, your strength is only a so-so. However, as soon as this person finished speaking, a figure walked out of the river under the Violet Ring River. Although this person was swaying from side to side from the impact of the divine energy, he was not injured at all. Domineering and unruly. It was Lin Ling. The most terrifying thing was that he walked out of the river with his hands behind his back and looked calmly at Tung Wang Kung. Rumble. Seeing this scene, the hearts of countless gods in the heavenly rain cliff exploded. Tung Wang Kung's eyes also widened. He gritted his teeth and did not speak for a long time. He had not held back previously. He was confident that even a late-stage high god would not dare to easily take his divine energy. Lin Ling was only a mid-stage high god. How could he be unharmed? Moreover, Lin Ling did not resist at all. Was this kid really a mid-stage high god? This kid is really a man. King Tang's face was also pale. He stared at Lin Ling as if he was the leader of the heavenly rain cliff. He knew very well that Lin Ling's actions had greatly damaged Tung Wang Kung's side and boosted the morale of the heavenly rain cliff. Moreover, a voice rose in his heart. Could it be that Lei Gong Lin Ling was invincible? Attack, instant kill. Defense, invincible. In that case, among the high gods, only the top giant gods could defeat Lin Ling. How did you do it? At this moment, Tung Wang Kung finally spoke. Lin Ling smiled faintly and looked calmly at Tung Wang Kung. He did not speak. Seeing Lin Ling's unfathomable expression, Tung Wang Kung's expression kept changing. He stood in place and did not speak for a long time. Lin Ling was still looking at Tung Wang Kung with his hands behind his back, motionless. How did he do it? Previously, he had used Pangu's second attack, the earth-splitting technique. It was the invincible divine energy. However, he still suffered serious injuries. That was because Tung Wangkung's divine energy was too strong. Fortunately, Lin Ling had withstood it and used the earth-splitting technique to intimidate the entire battle. Now, Lin Ling could see that even Tung Wangkung was afraid of him. At least for the time being, Tung Wangkung would not dare to act recklessly. After all, Tung Wangkung had an invincible defense and instant kill unless he wanted to die. The final result was that Lin Ling would be able to buy even more time for himself. "Yellow Emperor, are your men not here yet?" Lin Ling shouted in his heart. Time passed by. At this moment, Tung Wangkung finally looked up at Lin Ling. This also made Lin Ling's eyes flash. He knew that Tung Wangkung had finally decided to act. Retreat. However, after looking at Lin Ling with fear, Tung Wangkung finally waved his hand and left on the river. Retreat. Lin Ling was a little dumbfounded. He thought that it was going to be a battle of life and death. In the end, Tung Wangkung retreated. After all, Lin Ling had already used up all his means. If Tung Wangkung wanted to fight with his life, Lin Ling could only be protected by the Tao state and taken away. He finally retreated. Emperor Tang was not surprised by Tung Wangkung's retreat. He had different thoughts from Lin Ling previously. When he saw Lin Ling's instant kill, he also thought that Lin Ling was invincible. If Tung Wangkung did not retreat, he would be the unlucky one in the end. Moreover, the longer this dragged on, the more likely Tung Wangkung would be defeated when the Yellow Emperor's men arrived. "Senior Lin Ling, I'm Emperor Tang. Thank you for your help." Emperor Tang then cupped his hands at Lin Ling with a respectful expression. "It's an honor to meet you." Lin Ling was stunned for a moment before returning the greeting. He saw that Emperor Tang was very respectful to him, as if he was meeting a senior, which puzzled him. He did not know that Emperor Tang's view of him was similar to Tung Wangkung's. Lin Ling was invincible. Therefore, Emperor Tang was also willing to call Lin Ling senior. As for the distance, Tung Wangkung's gods were all retreating. At the same time, Emperor Yao also received the news. Lei Gong Lin Ling. Chapter 48-14. On the ancient mountain peak, only Emperor Yao stood there quietly. His eyes were indifferently staring at the white Tao pagoda in the distance. He came from the ancient era and had seen countless genius gods in this life and his previous life. However, this was the first time he had seen someone like Lin Ling. Back then, what if I had treated him with respect? Emperor Yao's mind was in a trance. A strong sense of regret shrouded his heart. Back then, Lin Ling was invited by the god under his tomb. However, he offended the White Tiger supervising Divine Lord. For the sake of the White Tiger giant god, he helped the White Tiger supervising Divine Lord and gave up on Lin Ling. At that time, in his opinion, although Lin Ling had some ability, he was after all a newcomer without any background. Such a god would not go far. Therefore, at that time, he did not care who was right or wrong and attacked Lin Ling. Of course, he was also greedy for Lin Ling's chaos divine tool. But now, Lin Ling's strength had surpassed many of his tombs. It would be a lie to say that he did not regret it. One must know that if he respected Lin Ling and helped Lin Ling would be one of the fierce generals under his tomb. In this Tao realm, in this Tao pagoda, Lin Ling could have conquered endless territories for him. Lin Ling, oh Lin Ling, what did you rely on to step into the strongest world of the Tao pagoda? Without a background, without the most ancient god's talent, what did you rely on? Emperor Yao muttered to himself. Suppressing the regret, his eyes became cold. He was familiar with Lin Ling's temperament. He knew that Lin Ling would definitely find him to settle the score. After all, he had sent people to kill Lin Ling. Emperor Shun, Lin Ling is not dead and has come to the Tao pagoda. Moreover, his strength has greatly increased. It is said that he can threaten late-stage high gods. After pondering for a moment, Emperor Yao transmitted his voice to Emperor Shun. A sharp voice immediately came, Lin Ling. You mean the Lin Ling who once wreaked havoc in my territory? He is not dead. Moreover, he can threaten late-stage high gods. You must be joking. I am not joking. My subordinates saw it. Dong Wang Kung was also there at that time. Dong Wang Kung. Yes. You should know his strength. At that time, he was attacking Heavenly Rain Cliff. That's right. It is precisely because of this that this Lin Ling is the most terrifying. If given another 300 years, perhaps he would be invincible among the higher gods. Emperor Yao nodded. In fact, I reckon that Lin Ling doesn't have the strength to kill Tung Wang Gong, but he has the strength to threaten him. But even so, Lin Ling is still a big problem, so I plan to kill him at all costs. I reckon we'll have to inform the 3 great sects of White Mountain about this. Emperor Shun transmitted his voice. If we let Lin Ling grow again, I estimate that his strength will be comparable to those monstrous gods in the Tao Pagoda. At that time, even if we don't die, we will lose a layer of skin. Moreover, I can't tolerate an enemy threatening me. Good. You will inform the 3 great sects of White Mountain about this. It is said that the 3 great sects also have a grudge against Lin Ling and want nothing more than to kill Lin Ling. Emperor Yao agreed with Emperor Shun's decision. After finishing his conversation with Emperor Shun, Emperor Yao's eyes looked deeply into the distance, landing on the White Tao Pagoda. The Tao Pagoda hasn't been entered yet, but the waves are endless. Emperor Yao sighed, a hint of fear in his eyes. He knew very well that the most terrifying gods of several eras had gathered in the White Tao Pagoda. Even he didn't dare to enter the Tao Pagoda at will. At this moment, at Heavenly Rain Cliff, Emperor Tang warmly received Lin Ling and the others. Not long after, the Yellow Emperor's people also arrived. Ah! Lin Ling. You're here. The one who came to help Heavenly Rain Cliff this time was Wu Ting. He was the Yellow Emperor's confidant, so naturally he knew Lin Ling. Your Excellency Wu Ting. Lin Ling smiled as he looked at Wu Ting. He found that the latter's strength was still that of an early-stage high god. However, while early-stage high gods were very powerful in the Tao realm, they were very ordinary in the Tao Pagoda. He estimated that Wu Ting's strength was not limited to this. Moreover, to be able to follow the Yellow Emperor, how could his strength be weak? Ha ha ha, the Yellow Emperor has been talking about you. Wu Ting laughed. Then, he learned from Emperor Tang that Lin Ling had helped Heavenly Rain Cliff and scared Dong Wang Gong away. He was even more shocked. No wonder the Yellow Emperor said that after you returned, your strength would certainly increase by leaps and bounds. It seems that the Yellow Emperor was right. Wu Ting looked up and down at Lin Ling and found that Lin Ling was still a mid-stage high god, but his battle strength was too fierce. How is the Yellow Emperor now? Lin Ling asked. Fortunately, he is in the vicinity of the Tao Pagoda. Your Excellency Lin Ling, why don't you go and see the Yellow Emperor? Wu Ting suggested. Lin Ling pondered for a moment and finally nodded. He came here for the Tao Pagoda. After all, at his current level, if he wanted to break through, ordinary opportunities would not be of much help. Only those universe-level treasures could help. How about this, Emperor Tang, I will leave some people here to guard Heavenly Rain Cliff for you. After all the treasures here have been excavated, you will go to the Yellow Emperor's side, and I will be responsible for taking His Excellency Lin Ling to the Yellow Emperor's side. After everything is over, I will guard Heavenly Rain Cliff for you. Wu Ting looked at Emperor Tang and said. Emperor Tang looked at Lin Ling in disbelief. He did not expect Lin Ling to know the Yellow Emperor. One must know that even he had never seen the Yellow Emperor. Good. Emperor Tang quickly nodded. Wu Ting smiled. After pondering for a moment, he continued, Your Excellency Lin Ling has protected Heavenly Rain Cliff. I think Heavenly Rain Cliff should give him 10,000 Tao Realm fragments. What do you think? That's for sure. Emperor Tang supported this decision. Heavenly Rain Cliff had many ancient treasures, but in the Tao Pagoda, any treasure could be exchanged with Tao Realm fragments. Therefore, Tao Realm fragments were equivalent to the Tao Pagoda's money. It's just a small matter. There's no need for that. Seeing Emperor Tang's enthusiasm, Lin Ling shook his head and refused. Although he had helped Heavenly Rain Cliff, the Yellow Emperor had also protected Lei Gong's main hall for him, so it could only be considered even. How can that be, Your Excellency Lin Ling, please accept it. Chapter 48:15. Your Excellency Lin Ling, I am Reverend Ranshan of the Thousand Buddha Hall. Since fate has brought us together, let's be friends. Your Excellency Lin Ling, I am the Emperor of the Nine Emperors sect. I have long heard of your name. The surrounding gods warmly greeted Lin Ling, trying to win over Lin Ling. They knew very well that Lin Ling, who could meet the Yellow Emperor and was so strong, would certainly be extraordinary in the future. Now that they knew each other, they could get some help in the future. Lin Ling did not refuse the enthusiasm of these gods. In a place like the Tao Tower, it was better to have one more friend than one more enemy. Soon after, Lin Ling chatted for a while and then left the hall with Lei Gong. Your Excellency Lin Ling, I heard from Xingyi that you have been in seclusion for 300 years. I didn't expect that in a place like the Nine Regions Void, your strength could increase so much. You must know that the treasures in the Nine Regions Void are limited and the spiritual qi is limited. To be able to increase your strength so much is really extraordinary. Wu Ting said with a smile as he flew over with Lin Ling and the others. They did not fly high, so they did not encounter the primordial thunder. Otherwise, they would have been like Lin Ling when he came. I just encountered some luck and was lucky to increase my strength. Lin Ling said politely. In fact, he was able to produce the 8th Dantian because of the treasures he had accumulated for many years. It had nothing to do with the Nine Regions Void. If you really want to increase your strength, the Tao Tower is the best, but it is too dangerous there. Wu Ting sighed. He believed that Lin Ling had encountered a great lucky chance in the void of the Nine Prefectures. This kind of lucky chance was something that every god could encounter. Unfortunately, for gods, most of these lucky chances weren't of much help. Wu Ting, for example, had been cultivating for millions of years and had obtained countless opportunities and treasures. However, his strength was still increasing very slowly. And this was because he was Wu Ting. If it were other gods, their progress would be even slower. It was possible that they would be stagnant for millions or even tens of millions of years. The stronger the strength, the slower the improvement. This was a well-known truth. Is the Tao Pagoda very dangerous? As Lin Ling heard Wu Ting's words, he couldn't help but look towards the distant white divine pagoda. He knew that the Tao Pagoda was a place that every Tao realm martial artist yearned for. Yes, very dangerous. In the Tao realm, in the primal chaos realm, the gods might have misgivings about the friendship of the past, and they might also have misgivings about the background of some powerful gods, so they wouldn't dare to truly fight. Looking around, there were countless experts, all of whom were early-stage high gods. Heavenly Army Commander, you killed the son of the great emperor. Today, you can't escape even if you grow wings. The great emperor has said that he will kill you until you have no protection, then take your heads and offer them to the heavenly feather crown prince. The old man said coldly. They were the North Pole Emperor's people. In the vicinity of the Tao Pagoda, there were countless ancient gods, and the North Pole Emperor was one of them. Also, where is that arrogant boy called Lin Ling? Did he run away? You are really pitiful. Lin Ling killed the heavenly feather crown prince, and now you have to take the blame. Now, you have nowhere to run. All of you, kneel. If the great emperor is in a good mood, he will give you a quick death. But if you are stubborn, not only will you die, but you will also be tortured to death. The old man kept saying, his face full of malevolence. Lin Ling left a long time ago. As for taking the blame, it's none of your business. You want us to kneel? Do you think it's possible? The Heavenly Army commander was no fool. He knew that the other party wanted to quickly torture them. In any case, they couldn't escape death, so why should they lower their heads? Idiot! The old man didn't get angry. Instead, he sneered and said, I will give you one more chance. Go and bring Lin Ling here. I will give you an address. As long as you find Lin Ling, the great emperor will be lenient and spare your lives. Dream on, old man Sky Gourd. Let me tell you, although Heavenly Feather was killed by Lin Ling, even if Lin Ling didn't kill him, we would still kill him. That idiot son of the North Pole Emperor is really an idiot. I won't feel good if I don't kill him. The Heavenly Army commander laughed loudly. That's right. It's a pity that Lin Ling acted too quickly. If he had fallen into my hands, Heavenly Feather wouldn't have died so easily. I will torture him to death and make him kneel and call me Grandpa. The Waterbird God said mockingly. They weren't stupid. They knew that the North Pole Emperor wanted to use them to capture Lin Ling. Once Lin Ling was captured, they would also be unable to escape death. All of you, kneel down and kowtow. Seeing that I have important matters to attend to, I'll let you scram. Lin Ling said with a smile. Motherf **Ker, you're courting death. Where did this madman come from? Do you know him? I don't know them. I've never seen them before. Heaven Gourd Elder, kill them. The gods around the Heavenly Gourd Elder all roared with rage. The Heavenly Gourd Elder was also fuming with rage. However, he still said, Kid, tell me your name if you dare. Perhaps we're on the same side. Remember, this is your last chance. Ha ha ha, you don't dare to attack. Is that why you're hiding behind the scenes? Lin Ling roared with laughter as he looked at the Heavenly Gourd Elder with disdain. Are you all idiots? Haven't you been following Lin Ling this entire time? What? Can't you recognize me even though I'm right in front of you? Lin Ling, you're the Lin Ling that Emperor Ziwei is looking for. The moment Lin Ling's words fell, everyone's body trembled, and their faces were filled with disbelief. Lin Ling had killed the Heavenly Wing Crown Prince and was the person that Emperor Ziwei wanted to kill the most. Logically speaking, Lin Ling should have gone into hiding after offending Emperor Ziwei. However, not only had Lin Ling not gone into hiding, he had appeared right in front of them. Could it be that Lin Ling didn't know that Emperor Ziwei was looking for them? Ha ha, we were just looking for you. Who would have thought that you'd jump out on your own? You really are an idiot. You're just like the Heavenly Tao General and the others. Good thing we don't have to look for you anymore. The Heavenly Gourd Elder roared with laughter as the gourd beneath him blasted forth the power of ice, fire, and lightning. Furthermore, the gourd was constantly changing colors. It was as if the gourd had become a five-colored gourd. At the same time, a terrifying burst of divine power emanated from the gourd, creating an enormous pressure that suppressed everything in all directions. The power of a late-stage high god was extremely fearsome in both quantity and quality. Unfortunately, Lin Ling, Lei Gong, and the others had just retreated from the battlefield and had already encountered powerful late-stage high gods. I don't care who's behind you, not even the owner of the Dao Tower will be able to save you today. Die! The Heavenly Gourd Elder roared coldly. Kill everyone else. Leave Lin Ling to me. I want the heads of the Heavenly Tao General and the others. Yes. The gods around the Heavenly Gourd Elder all nodded with cold smiles on their faces. The Heavenly Gourd Elder remained seated on the gourd with a sinister smile on his face. His eyebrows twitched as he disappeared on the spot. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Lin Ling. Lad, it's too late for regrets now. The heavenly gourd elder's voice floated out from his mouth. The gourd beneath him seemed to contain the entire universe as it formed an enormous suction force that surged toward Lin Ling. With Lin Ling's strength, he was no match for the heavenly gourd elder at all. Unless Lin Ling used all kinds of trump cards. Unfortunately, Lin Ling had just finished his battle and had not recovered his trump cards yet. However, Lin Ling was not afraid at all. He smiled faintly and said, "Old man, you can scold me all you want, but now you're scolding the people behind me. You must be tired of living. How great can the people behind you be? I'm going to scold the heavenly gourd elder. So what? Listen, no matter who's behind you, in front of me, the heavenly gourd elder, they're all inferior. Did you hear me, lad? Now, accept your death obediently." The heavenly gourd elder was still sitting on the gourd as he laughed disdainfully. Bang! 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 At this moment, a deafening sound rang out, forming a terrible impact that blasted the gourd. The heavenly gourd elder's expression changed. What kind of power was this? It was terrifying. Could it be the power of the divine steps? The heavenly gourd elder gasped. Then, he found that his gourd seemed to have been hit by countless divine fists. It trembled violently, then began to crack, and finally began to explode. What's going on? The heavenly gourd elder jumped up, his face turning pale. His gourd was made from an ancient vine gourd from the primeval age. It was a chaos sacred artifact that could enhance the heavenly gourd elder's divine power. Not many among the superior gods could withstand it. Over the years, the heavenly gourd elder had killed countless powerful enemies for him. That was how he got his name. Chapter 48:17. Powerful indeed. Only Lin Ling smiled faintly. He knew that Wu Ting had made his move. Moreover, Wu Ting's divine stares was a sound that appeared in the gourd and caused it to explode from the inside. Of course, this was easy to say, but it was undoubtedly more difficult than ascending to the heavens. My lord is not someone a clay chicken or pottery dog like you can talk about. Kneel and accept your death. Kneel. At the same time, Wu Ting appeared in front of Sky Gourd Elder. His appearance was extremely strange and without any warning. Kneel and accept your death. Then, an ethereal voice was heard. It was very soft but with unquestionable majesty. Everyone stopped what they were doing. Their eyes were fixed on the seemingly ordinary but extremely cold man. They had seen this man before. He was about the strength of an early-stage high god. Now, he had actually broken Sky Gourd Elder's gourd. You, who are you? Sky Gourd Elder's voice trembled. Although the man in front of him looked ordinary, he felt a sense of crisis. This made him know that this man was very dangerous. Wu Ting. Wu Ting said faintly. Sky Gourd Elder frowned. He thought about the entire Dao realm and even the Dao pagoda, but this was the first time he had heard of this name. Who is your lord? Sky Gourd Elder asked again. Yellow Emperor. Wu Ting's voice was still so calm, but with a strong murderous intent. Yellow Emperor. Hearing Wu Ting's words, Sky Gourd Elder finally panicked. Because in the Dao pagoda, there were hundreds of powerful divine gates, but one of the largest was the oldest 5 emperors. Of course, there were countless capable people in the 5 emperors' tomb. Not everyone could attract the Yellow Emperor's attention. Therefore, Sky Gourd Elder wanted to say something, but at this time, Wu Ting said again, ignore, listen. A simple sentence, but it seemed to make Sky Gourd Elder think of something. He suddenly shouted, you are ignore, listen. He finally remembered. There were always 2 guards by the Yellow Emperor's side, ignore and listen. They had followed the Yellow Emperor since he turned into a human. For so many years, the Yellow Emperor's side had changed wave after wave of people, but ignore and listen had always been with the Yellow Emperor. This meant that Lin Ling was the one who could meet the Yellow Emperor. This also meant that this group of people's status was not low. Ignore. I've never heard of it. But looking at the Heaven-Gored Elder, he seems to be the Yellow Emperor's confidant. The Heavenly Law Battalion Chief and the others were also shocked. Spare me, spare me. It was a misunderstanding, a huge misunderstanding. When the Sky-Gored Elder reacted, he immediately knelt down and begged for mercy. Misunderstanding? It's too late to say that it's a misunderstanding. First, Lin Ling is an honored guest of His Excellency Yellow Emperor. If you dare to touch him, it's tantamount to slapping His Excellency Yellow Emperor's face. Second, you insulted the Yellow Emperor in front of everyone. If I didn't know about this, I wouldn't care, but you insulted the Yellow Emperor in front of me. I can't pretend that I didn't see it. Bang! He took a step forward. What was even more terrifying was that even though there was no divine power, the Sky-Gored Elder spat out a mouthful of blood as if he had suffered a heavy blow. Spare me. I work for Emperor Ziwei. The Heaven-Gored Elder did not dare to resist at all. He kept begging for mercy. So what if he's Emperor Ziwei? He's nothing compared to the Yellow Emperor. Wu Ting took another step forward. The Sky-Gored Elder trembled as if he had suffered a heavy blow. More blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. He was the only one who could sense that all the bones in his body had been shattered. Any divine essence was useless, unable to protect him at all. Of course, Lin Ling also noticed that Wu Ting could control sound, and it was an extremely powerful sound. It seemed to be a combination of the divine stairs and an ancient divine ability. However, Lin Ling was no exception. As a trusted subordinate of the Yellow Emperor, although he appeared to be an early-stage high god, he was not weak at all. Die! Wu Ting took a third step. The Sky-Gored Elder's body trembled and then turned into dust. He's dead. The gods behind the Sky-Gored Elder were all trembling. A late-stage high god had died so quickly that they could not even see how it was done. All of you, scram. Go back and tell Emperor Ziwei that I, Wu Ting, killed him. Come and find the Yellow Emperor if you dare. Wu Ting did not kill the remaining gods. Instead, he said coldly. Thank you, my lord. Thank you, senior. The gods all kowtowed to Wu Ting before fleeing in panic. Your Excellency Lin Ling. Seeing that the matter had been resolved, the Heavenly Path's military chief and the others walked over and thanked Lin Ling. Then, they looked at Wu Ting and said, Thank you, senior. It's no problem. You are Lin Ling's friends, so you are also my friends. Wu Ting shook his head. Even when facing a mid-stage high god like the Heavenly Path's military chief, he still spoke with a hint of arrogance. However, the Heavenly Path's military chief and the others did not dare to take it seriously. Instead, they thought that everything was normal. Your Excellency Lin Ling, it's time for us to go. Wu Ting looked at Lin Ling and the others and said with a smile. His goal was to send Lin Ling safely to the Yellow Emperor's side. Everything else was trivial. All right. Lin Ling nodded and said to the Heavenly Path's military chief and the others, let's go together. Good, good, good. The Heavenly Path's military chief and the others naturally nodded. They were eager to enter the Yellow Emperor's corps. Then, everyone set off one after another. Along the way, Lin Ling also discovered that the Dao Tower was very big. It seemed to be even bigger than the Dao realm. Moreover, it was even more chaotic. Every place they passed, they would see fierce battles. The protection of 3 Dao realms was probably not enough in the Dao Tower. No wonder everyone in the Dao realm wanted to save the protection of the Dao realm. Because entering the Dao Tower requires 1 million Dao realm fragments, the gods here are accumulating Dao realm fragments and killing each other. Seeing that Lin Ling was a little surprised, Wu Ting could not help but explain. Don't you need the other party's consent to get the Tao realm fragments? Killing and robbing is useless. Lin Ling frowned. It's different here in the Tao Tower. If you kill the other party, the Tao realm will disappear within 2 hours. At that time, you can get the other party's Tao realm fragments. Moreover, even if the other party has the protection of the Tao realm will still fall. However, the other party will not be able to get the Tao realm fragments. It also takes 2 hours. If the person is taken away by the protection of the Tao realm and they do not get back their Tao realm fragments within 2 hours, then all the Tao realm fragments will belong to the other party. Even the Tao realm fragments will disappear. Wu Ting said. Lin Ling was secretly shocked. No wonder the killing here was so crazy. It turned out that the Tao realm fragments could be obtained this way. Therefore, when the Yellow Emperor learned that you were here, he asked me to personally bring you back. Chapter 48:18. Perhaps the blood of battle flowed in his body, and he preferred this kind of world where the strong preyed on the weak. After a long time, endless mountains appeared in front of them. An ancient aura pervaded the earth, and it seemed that they had arrived at the Yellow Emperor's territory. This area was vast and boundless, but it was also the quietest, and no battle could be seen. We're here. At the same time, Wu Ting smiled and looked at Lin Ling. At the foot of the divine mountain, countless eyes quietly looked at the sky, but after seeing that it was Wu Ting, these spying methods quietly disappeared. Obviously, the gods living at the foot of the divine mountain thought that an enemy had arrived. The Yellow Emperor's reputation is indeed great. Lin Ling nodded, knowing that this shelter was precisely because of the Yellow Emperor. You can choose any cave residence here. If anyone stops you, just say that I, Wu Ting, introduced you here. Generally, no one will dare to bully you. Wu Ting looked at the army of heaven and said, and then continued to lead Lin Ling and the others forward. The army of heaven and the others bowed heavily. To be able to find a shelter in the Tao Pagoda area was an incomparably fortunate thing, and they knew that it was all because of Lin Ling's face. Lin Ling actually knows the Yellow Emperor. The Waterbird God said enviously. From the moment I met Lin Ling, I knew that this child was amazing. Let's go, Lin Ling's world is not something we can understand. The army of heaven smiled and led everyone to fly down to the divine mountain below. Lin Ling followed Wu Ting and continued forward. Before long, a large field of rice appeared in front of them. An old man wearing cotton clothes and carrying a hoe was busy. When he noticed Lin Ling in the distance, he couldn't help but laugh. Lin Ling, you're here. He was the Yellow Emperor. Then, the Yellow Emperor put down the hoe and personally went to greet Lin Ling. Everyone descended from the sky. Yu and the rest bowed towards the Yellow Emperor, especially Lei Gong and Longyang. It was as if they had seen their master. After all, the Yellow Emperor had taught them how to control the world's will. Only Lin Ling didn't show much respect. The Yellow Emperor has always been very respectful towards His Excellency Lin Ling. Wu Ting, on the other hand, was secretly shaking his head. He didn't understand the reason behind this. Because, in several generations, there were probably no more than 20 people who could make the Yellow Emperor treat them with such respect. Your Excellency Lin Ling, I've been waiting for you for so long. The Yellow Emperor came before Lin Ling and cupped his hands. He seemed to be treating Lin Ling as someone of the same generation because he was the only one who knew about Lin Ling's miraculous abilities. This was the Lord of the Square Prison, and even his master was imprisoned there. I was delayed by some matters, so I came late. Lin Ling also cupped his hands and bowed. After some pleasantries, he asked, Senior Yellow Emperor, do you know how to control the world's will? I do know this, but why do you ask? The Yellow Emperor's eyes flashed as he asked curiously. He didn't know that Lin Ling was the host body of the Eighth World's will. Lin Ling looked around and saw that they were all on the same side, so he didn't hide it. Because I'm the host body of the eighth world's will. What? The Yellow Emperor's expression changed. He waved his right hand and a barrier appeared around them, blocking all outside investigation. Long Yang and Wu Ting's expressions also trembled. This was the first time they knew this secret. As for Lei Gong and the rest, they already knew this secret long ago. Lin Ling is also the host body of the world's will. Long Yang's mind was roaring non-stop. For a moment, she even crashed and went blank. In the end, when she completely accepted this fact, all the mysteries in her heart were also solved. It was no wonder that Lin Ling had always been able to surpass her, to the point that she always had to look up to him. It turned out that Lin Ling was the host body of the world's will, and the host body of the eighth world's will. Long Yang also knew very well that the later the host body of the world's will, the stronger its potential. After all this time, he's actually one of us, and he's one of us who's above me. Long Yang shook her head helplessly. That's great, Lord Lin Ling is one of us, we're as close as a family. Beside her, Xiaoluan was incomparably happy and said with a smile, no wonder when I first saw Lord Lin Ling, I felt that Lord Lin Ling gave me a sense of closeness. It turns out that he's our big brother, no wonder he's been protecting us, we're one family. Xiaoluan is right. In fact, when I first saw that kid, I felt that he was very close. It turns out that we're indeed one family. Lei Gong also laughed excitedly. Although he already knew about Lin Ling's background, when Lin Ling mentioned it, he still felt incomparably excited. Big brother? Long Yang's expression was strange. Lin Ling was her enemy. That night, Lin Ling tyrannically humiliated her. She still remembered it to this day. Where did the sense of closeness come from? It was more like a rogue bandit. Yeah, for so many years, wasn't it Lord Lin Ling who's been protecting us all this time? Xiaoluan blinked and looked at Long Yang. He felt that Long Yang was very strange. She always said that she hated Lin Ling to death, so much so that she wanted to kill Lin Ling. However, every time she saw Lin Ling, Long Yang was very strange. It didn't seem like she hated him at all, but more like she missed him. Moreover, every time there was bad news about Lin Ling, Xiaoluan could feel that Long Yang was uneasy, as if she was afraid that something would happen to Lin Ling. Protect us. When Long Yang heard Xiaoluan's words, her body suddenly trembled. She suddenly looked back and realized that after the spirit province, Lin Ling had indeed been protecting her. Even the fact that she, Long Yang, could enter the Dao Pagoda and follow the Yellow Emperor was all thanks to Lin Ling. Thinking of this, Long Yang stared at Lin Ling, and her eyes suddenly became complicated. At this moment, Lin Ling didn't know what Long Yang was thinking. He was still talking with the Yellow Emperor. After being shocked for a long time, the Yellow Emperor finally accepted this reality with a bitter smile. He glanced at Lei Gong and the others and said helplessly, I didn't think that I would have 4 world will hosts here. There were 9 world will hosts, and it was said that among these 9 people, one of them was about to destroy the entire universe. No god could stop him. And now, out of these 9 people, he had 4 here. Just thinking about it made him feel excited. I can give you pointers on how to use the world will's power. This isn't a secret. The Yellow Emperor nodded, then thought for a moment and asked, Your Excellency Lin Ling, since you returned from the 8 gods' heavenly palace, you should know who the last world will host is, right? He asked this very carefully. Moreover, he was afraid that Lin Ling didn't want to say, so he smiled and said, I'm just casually asking. If Your Excellency Lin Ling feels that it's inappropriate, then just pretend that I didn't say anything. Wu Ting looked at the Yellow Emperor asking for advice from Lin Ling. He finally understood why the Yellow Emperor valued Lin Ling so much. It turned out that Lin Ling knew a lot of things, and his background was very terrifying. Chapter 48:19. However, Lin Ling also looked around. The Yellow Emperor's eyes lit up, knowing that Lin Ling was about to speak. He waved his right hand again, blocking everyone's probing. Only he and Lin Ling were left inside the screen. Xingyi and Nanwu Fengyu smiled, knowing that Lin Ling would speak. The more people knew, the safer they would be. As expected, when Lin Ling and the Yellow Emperor walked out, the Yellow Emperor's expression shifted, as if shocked by this result. Even the Yellow Emperor was shocked. Xingyi and the others weren't surprised. They guessed that any god who learned this secret would be shocked for a long time. I didn't expect it to be him. In the end, the Yellow Emperor smiled wryly at Lin Ling. Sire Lin Ling, you've brought me wave after wave of surprises since your return. Actually, I know who the seventh world will host is. Lin Ling said, then stared at the Yellow Emperor to see if he wanted to know. The Yellow Emperor sighed. I even know who the last world will host is, so this one won't make a difference. That's right. Lin Ling said, as if he was trying to pull someone into a pirate ship. After all, the more world wills the Yellow Emperor knew, the more likely he would stand with him in the future. The seventh world will host is the god behind the three divine gates of White Mountain, the Dipankara Buddha. It's him. Oh my god, it's another ancient giant god. Hearing this, the Yellow Emperor bitterly laughed. There were too many powerful gods. If he had to fight alone, he wouldn't be able to fight them all. However, he quickly remembered Lin Ling's square prison. He asked carefully, does my master know these secrets? Senior Guangchengzi knows everything. Lin Ling nodded. That's good. The Yellow Emperor let out a sigh of relief. If his master knew about this, then his master would be able to block any powerful enemies that came. He couldn't help but look at Lin Ling in the eye, and laughed at the same time. Even if the sky falls, the taller one will hold it up. Their thoughts were the same. If these powerful beings were to attack them, the stronger ancient giant gods would be enough to deal with them. Is the Yellow Emperor here? While the Yellow Emperor and Lin Ling were talking, a majestic voice suddenly exploded in the sky. The sky began to change along with the winds and clouds. At this moment, the Yellow Emperor frowned. He sensed a powerful aura approaching. At the same time, the boundless divine mountains also erupted with a towering aura, as if they were going to fight against the powerful enemy that had suddenly appeared in the sky. However, at this moment, treasure light shone brightly and spiritual energy engulfed the blue dome of heaven like a dragon. Satin leaves. A universal treasure appeared in the sky, sprinkling down endless radiance. According to legend, this was the most ancient giant divine weapon, Jie. It was incomparably precious and could increase a god's chances of becoming a superior god by 10%. Star Phoenix Sand. It was an indispensable treasure to form a world. With this treasure, one could create a world and even control it. Jiushao War Chariot. It was a war chariot comparable to a late-stage superior god, and there were a total of 365 of them. If they were to explode together, even 50 late-stage superior gods would die. A large number of ancient giant treasures appeared in the sky, constantly circling and shaking the earth. What is this? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air, their faces solemn. Even the Yellow Emperor frowned, not understanding what this meant. Yellow Emperor, I have offended you many times in the past. Take these treasures as my apology. At this moment, the radiance in the sky flowed and quietly condensed into a figure that slowly appeared in front of everyone's eyes. This person was tall and sturdy. He wore a beast-skin coat that looked domineering and magnificent, as if he was wearing a cape. And this person was Emperor Yao. Emperor Yao and the Yellow Emperor had never been on good terms. Today, he actually took the initiative to come to the Yellow Emperor's territory. Moreover, he gave away so many treasures just to make up for it. The Yellow Emperor's frown deepened. He did not understand what Emperor Yao was up to. Old brother Yellow Emperor, I trust you have been well since we last met. At this moment, another voice sounded. A huge demonic eye appeared in the sky. This eye was eerie green, and when it stared at the ground, all the gods felt a chill run down their spines. In the eye, a woman sat quietly in the depths of the eye, smiling as she looked at the yellow emperor on the ground. I have 300 million Tao realm fragments here to apologize to you, old brother yellow emperor. The woman said with a smile. What she took out was also a huge treasure. 300 million Tao realm fragments. One had to know that 1 million Tao realm fragments could allow one god to enter the Tao pagoda. 300 million Tao realm fragments meant that 300 gods could enter the Tao pagoda. Without a doubt, this was a huge sum of money. Emperor Yao Shui. The yellow emperor's eyes flashed again, and he was even more shocked. Your Excellency Yellow Emperor, I am here on behalf of the 3 divine sects of White Mountain. At this moment, a handsome young man appeared in the sky and bowed respectfully to the yellow emperor. I have 500 million Tao realm fragments here. It is a token of the Buddha God's goodwill. I hope Senior Yellow Emperor will kindly accept it. 500 million. That was even more exaggerated. Now, the 3 great powers had come, and all of them had brought priceless treasures. No one could understand what they wanted. The Yellow Emperor looked at the leaders of the 3 great powers indifferently, pondered for a moment, and said with a smile, as the saying goes, one should not accept a reward without any effort. I am unable to accept such precious treasures. May I know what the 3 of you are here for? The Yellow Emperor did not lose his mind because of the treasures because this was too abnormal. It's actually very simple. We are here for a person. Emperor Yao laughed, but there was disappointment in the depths of his eyes. He did not expect the Yellow Emperor to reject so many treasures. However, he was not in a hurry. He believed that the Yellow Emperor would accept these treasures after he told him his purpose for coming. Who is it? The Yellow Emperor suddenly understood. He had long felt that these people would not give away so many treasures just to shake hands and make peace. These people were not people who would easily be taken advantage of. Emperor Yao was still smiling. His eyes fell on the Yellow Emperor, and then on the person beside him. Finally, he looked at the Emperor Shun and said, "You say it." The Emperor Shun also looked at the person beside the Yellow Emperor. She nodded and said, "For him, Lin Ling." The moment these words fell, the sacred mountain seemed to explode. 2 great ancient emperors and one of the oldest sacred sects. They had brought so many treasures just for Lin Ling alone. This reward was too great. We want to take him away. If the Yellow Emperor agrees, these treasures will belong to you. The Emperor Shun pointed at Lin Ling and explained their purpose for coming. I know that old brother Yellow Emperor has many treasures, but I think that there is no way that you would not be moved by so many treasures. Old brother only needs to hand over a person, and these treasures will belong to you. This is a great bargain. Emperor Yao's eyes flashed coldly as he said with a smile. Although they had paid so many treasures just for Lin Ling alone, they felt that it was all worth it. In the void of Jojo, everyone thought that the gods were omnipotent and could easily control the life and death of others. But they didn't know that in this place, the gods' lives were the most worthless. The gods looked glorious, but behind the scenes, they had to pay a great price. Others would never know. Back then, I was in charge of humanity, but it was still difficult to fight against the natural dangers. Later on, I traveled thousands of miles to find a master. After 100 years, I finally met my master, Guangqingzi. My master taught me the way to rule the heavens. Later on, I was praised by the humans and became the Yellow Emperor. My master gave me a new lease of life. It will be difficult for me to repay this kindness in this life. Sir Lin Ling, please help me give this jug of wine to the old man. The Yellow Emperor drank a large jug of wine and sincerely said to Lin Ling, "Okay. Lin Ling nodded and took the jug of wine into the square prison. However, Guang Qingzi seemed to know the Yellow Emperor's intentions. He accepted the wine but didn't go out to meet the Yellow Emperor. After Lin Ling came out, he told the Yellow Emperor about Guang Qingzi's intentions. The Yellow Emperor sighed inwardly, but he didn't care too much. He was already very happy that his master accepted his wine. And with his master's temperament, he didn't like to meet strangers. Lin Ling, come. Suddenly, the Yellow Emperor nodded to Lin Ling. Chapter 48-21. This sacred art is divided into several realms, corresponding to the power of the worlds will host. They are black, green, blue, yellow, red, gold, and purple. As for how to cultivate it, I don't know either, because I don't have the world's will power. Now, I will teach it to you. Hearing this, Lin Ling quickly sat down cross-legged. The Yellow Emperor pointed at Lin Ling, and a ray of light entered Lin Ling's mind, exploding in Lin Ling's mind. This was a complicated technique that explained how to control the power of the world. However, it wasn't easy to activate this power. This was because the power of the world's will was hidden in the body. It was difficult for any divine ability to detect it. It had to be awakened. Lin Ling's soul force continued to observe the complicated technique. However, he could understand the technique, but he could not sense the world's will power. Just like cultivation, no matter how you cultivate, you could not sense the spiritual energy in your body. Lin Ling opened his eyes, looking at the Yellow Emperor in disbelief, and told him the problem he encountered. This is a little strange, because Xiao Luan, Lei Gong, and Long Yang could all sense their own world's will power. The only difference is the strength of the world's will power. Among them, Xiao Luan sensed it the fastest, Lei Gong was second, and Long Yang was last. Furthermore, I also had them activate that power. It's really powerful. It's a power that surpasses the power of gods, the steps of gods, and even the most ancient divine abilities. Even if it's just a strand of power, it's still extremely powerful. That's right. The Yellow Emperor was also very confused. Could it be that I am not the world's will host? Lin Ling couldn't help but frown. Even Xiao Luan could feel that power, so why couldn't he? You returned from the 8 gods' heavenly palace, and the stone tablet recorded that you are the world's will host. That is definitely not wrong. I estimate that there are strong and weak worlds will hosts. Yours is too strong, so it is even harder to sense. After all, you are the 8th world's will host. The Yellow Emperor thought for a while and explained, you see, Xiao Luan was the first to sense it, then Lei Gong, and finally Long Yang. This explains everything. Senior Yellow Emperor is right. Lin Ling nodded. In my opinion, if you practice this technique every day and constantly communicate with the power of the world hidden in your body, you will definitely notice it over time. The Yellow Emperor said again. Then, he saw Lin Ling close his eyes and meditate. He did not interrupt Lin Ling and turn to leave. Lin Ling was still cultivating this cultivation method. What made him feel strange was that as he cultivated this cultivation method, he could feel a force roaming through his entire body, as if it was searching for something. However, he couldn't see the power of the world's will. Perhaps it was just as the Yellow Emperor had said, awakening the will of the world would require a long process. Now, I've already prepared the 8-treasure acacia tree to break through to become a mid-god. However, I'm still quite lacking in the treasures needed for the breakthrough. Moreover, if I want to enter the Tao Pagoda, I'll need a large number of Tao realm fragments. After cultivating for a while, Lin Ling sensed his own strength. In the Tao realm, with his current strength, he estimated that he was above average. However, in the Tao Pagoda, there were too many gods. Countless gods had accumulated over several eras, and they were all above average gods in strength. Therefore, Lin Ling had to become even stronger. Although he could threaten late-stage high gods, in reality, he was relying on all kinds of trump cards. Moreover, it was only a threat. If he really wanted to kill a late-stage high god, he might not succeed. For example, Tung Wang Kung was scared away by Lin Ling did not even attack him. Thinking of those trump cards, Lin Ling hurriedly cultivated the 3 ultimate universe splits. He remembered that his soul force had greatly increased, and he was close to being able to cultivate the 2nd ultimate universe splits. However, when he wanted to cultivate it, he helplessly discovered that although this ultimate universe split seemed close, it was in fact still far away. Lin Ling continued to cultivate, but in the end, he could not break through the threshold and cultivate the 2nd ultimate universe splits. Lin Ling could not help but sigh. He then checked Pangu's attack. The 3 ultimate universe splits were a Mahayana Buddhist technique of soul force, and Pangu's attack was a physical body divine ability. Now that Lin Ling's physical strength had greatly increased, he did not know if Pangu's attack could be cultivated to the next level. Pangu's attack had 6 attacks. Now that Lin Ling had cultivated split the heavens and shatter the earth, they represented 1 attack and 1 defense. The 3rd attack was absolute soul. What shocked Lin Ling was that he could cultivate Pangu's physical body divine ability. As for absolute soul shock, it doubled the speed of the entire body. Doubled. It was incomparably terrifying. However, the requirement for cultivation was that one's physical body must be strong enough. Because this was the explosive speed that could be achieved by burning one's physical body. Just like split the heavens and shatter the earth, Pangu's divine ability could only be used once in a short period of time. Double the speed. Lin Ling's pupils violently trembled. Speed had always been his domain of expertise. His current speed was 5 million world speed. With the addition of the Quafu Sun chasing boots, it was 10 million world speed. But if he used absolute soul and doubled his speed, it would be 20 million world speed. With such speed, no mid-stage high god could catch up with him. Immediately, Lin Ling began to cultivate. Fortunately, the cultivation of Pangu's attack had never been difficult. It depended on whether one's physical body had reached the standard. And Lin Ling had clearly reached the standard. After a long time, Lin Ling stood up and silently executed Pangu's divine ability. First, flames appeared on his legs. They were the flames of the Quafu Sun chasing boots. Then, a silver radiance appeared. Lin Ling felt as though he was stepping on 2 silver plates. Lin Ling took a step forward and disappeared on the spot. In just 1 step, he had passed through the Yellow Emperor's territory. His speed was incomparably fast. Next, Lin Ling tested it again and finally walked back with satisfaction. Speed was a life-saving measure. It was also a trump card to defeat one's opponent. With great speed, one would be undefeatable at some point. One could even use the smallest amount of strength to kill one's opponent. But the speed of a god had always been difficult to increase, unless one had an innate divine fetus. Right now, my strongest talent is the eternal killing world. My other talents have more or less reached their limits and won't be of much help. However, the eternal killing world is enough to support me to step into the high god realm. What I lack are treasures. Lin Ling walked back and pondered for a moment. Then, he immediately went to look for the Yellow Emperor. Chapter 48-22. Take my letter and give it to Daoist Yuan. He will probably give you 100,000 Dao realm fragments as a reward. Lin Ling pondered for a moment before finally nodding. But you must be careful. Emperor Yao, Emperor Shun, and the others are all searching for you. Oh right, there are also the 3 divine gates of White Mountain, Emperor Ziwei, and the others. Don't let them find you. Seeing that Lin Ling had agreed, the Yellow Emperor said again. Don't worry. Although I can't fight them, it shouldn't be difficult for me to escape. Lin Ling's speed had greatly increased, and his confidence had also increased by a lot. No mid-stage high god could catch up to him. As for late-stage high gods, unless they had divine embryos with speed, it would be difficult for them to catch up to him. What was there to be afraid of? That's good. The Yellow Emperor took out the letter and handed it to Lin Ling. Now, all the gods in the vicinity of the Dao Tower were desperately searching for Dao realm fragments. Lin Ling only had to hand over the letter, but he could get 100,000 Dao realm fragments. Naturally, he wouldn't miss it. After receiving the letter, Lin Ling bid farewell to Yu Yu and the others and immediately left. He followed the direction indicated by the letter and moved forward without stopping. 10 days later, Lin Ling appeared in the west of the Dao Tower. He didn't burst out with full speed, so it took him some time. The main thing was that if he went at full speed, it would easily attract the attention of some gods. If he was discovered by Emperor Yao and the others, Lin Ling would be in a lot of trouble. In the Dao Tower, many ancient divine gates were related to Emperor Shun and Emperor Yao. Naturally, Lin Ling was much more cautious. In the west of the Dao Tower, snow and ice intersected, and the vast land was snow-white. Blizzards swept across the sky and earth from time to time, drowning everything. This wave of icy coldness had already reached the pinnacle, and it was mixed with terrifying divine energy. It was capable of causing any low-level deity to fall here, and even a mid-level deity would have to be careful. If they were to be engulfed by the blizzard head-on, even if they didn't die, they would still lose a layer of skin. The Dao Tower is so scary. Lin Ling moved forward carefully, leaving a footprint on the ground with each step. Every time a snowstorm approached, he would be able to sense it in advance and avoid the snowstorm. Moreover, from time to time, he would look back, but in the distant sky, he could still see the pure white Dao Pagoda. It was like a guiding light hanging in the sky. The Dao Pagoda was indeed a place that every god yearned for. It could be sensed from anywhere. Another blizzard is coming. We have to stay out of the way. Then, Lin Ling looked into the distance. It was dark, and he could hear a terrifying rumbling sound. Lin Ling hurriedly moved in another direction. He found a cliff on a hill and hid under it to avoid the storm. These snowstorms were too powerful. When they fell on the void of the 9 continents, they could freeze the entire void of the 9 continents. Even Lin Ling's Lin Ling universe could not withstand many waves of snowstorms. Rumble. Lin Ling hid under the cliff. Above him, the sound of the sky collapsing and the earth cracking could be heard. Although Lin Ling had avoided the most dangerous storm, he was still affected by the aftershocks. His whole body was frozen, and his skin continued to crack. Of course, these injuries did not affect Lin Ling much. Therefore, Lin Ling took the opportunity to cultivate. Time passed quietly. After the blizzard had passed, sunlight appeared in the sky and fell on the snowy ground, illuminating everything. A large group walked over from afar. Their bodies were covered in light, like lanterns. It was obvious that their strength was not weak at all. After this, no one is allowed to leave the Dao sect. Now that the ancient emperor wants to harm us, we must be careful. In the vicinity of the Dao Pagoda, there are countless ancient divine sections. These divine sects are also eyeing our origin returning Dao sect. Although we do not fear them, it is better to avoid trouble at this time. Remember, you must not cause trouble. An old man said to the group. This old man was a mid-stage high god. The disciples behind him were all extremely young. There were early-stage high gods and mid-stage high gods. The weakest was a mid-stage high god. The origin returning Dao sect was famous back in the era of the gods. Later on, when the calamity of the worlds will arrived, the entire sect was massacred. After reincarnating, the elders and disciples of the past all found the Dao sect and returned. We understand. The disciples nodded. Uncle Master, look. There's someone there. Wow, he dares to walk here alone. All of a sudden, a woman pointed to the bottom of the cliff. At the bottom of the cliff, the snow was melting, revealing Lin Ling's body. Therefore, they saw him at a glance. He must be very strong. After all, if he dares to walk here alone and is not afraid of the blizzard, he can't be weak. A youth nodded and said. The old man frowned. After a closer inspection, he smiled and said, just mid-stage high god strength. A mid-stage high god is that strong? He's cultivating. He must be quite strong. I just don't know how much divine energy he has. Let me test him. Since he's here, he must be here to become a disciple. When the disciples found out that he was not a mid-stage high god, they relaxed. Then, a woman walked over with a smile. When the old man saw this, he shook his head but did not stop her. A mid-stage high god was not worthy of his attention. At this moment, Lin Ling was comprehending the technique left behind by the Yellow Emperor. However, he still could not sense the world will's power. Then, he opened his eyes and noticed the group of people in front of him. I'm sorry to disturb your cultivation. When she saw Lin Ling open his eyes, the woman immediately said. It's fine. I didn't make much progress anyway. Lin Ling shook his head, patted the snow off his body, and stood up. I'm Lin Ziyu from the Origin Returning Tao sect. I saw that you were cultivating and you weren't afraid of the snowstorm. I reckon that you're not weak. So I'm itching to learn from you. Is that okay? The woman was quite polite. Whether it was interrupting Lin Ling or asking for advice from Lin Ling, her tone was very polite. Origin Returning Tao sect. When he heard the woman's words, Lin Ling's eyes lit up. Have you heard of the Origin Returning Tao sect? Are you really here to become a disciple? Our Origin Returning Tao sect was very famous during the Age of the Gods. At its peak, we opened 365 sects and had more than 300 million disciples. When she saw Lin Ling's expression, the woman immediately smiled. She guessed that Lin Ling had come because of the sect's reputation. Although the times were different now, most of the gods who had died in the world will's calamity had heard of the Origin Returning Tao sect. Back then, they had failed to become a disciple. Now that they had heard of the Origin Returning Tao sect, it was not impossible for them to come again. If you want to become a disciple, then you have to spar with me. You don't have to win. You just have to use your full strength. Our martial uncle will evaluate you and see if you are suitable for our Origin Returning Tao sect. The woman smiled cutely, revealing 2 small canine teeth. Become a disciple. Chapter 48-23. Your Excellency, be careful. Unfortunately, Lin Ziyu thought that Lin Ling was an ordinary intermediate god. She came from the Origin Returning Tao sect and was stronger than an ordinary intermediate god. Therefore, she warned Lin Ling. She activated her divine power and started to test Lin Ling. However, she realized that Lin Ling was not as weak as she thought. Next, she increased her divine power and wanted to pressure Lin Ling. Unfortunately, Lin Ling was nonchalant and dealt with it casually. You have some skills. Finally, Lin Ziyu unleashed her strongest strength. Her hands flew as if she was setting up a barrier. Although it looked ordinary, she was able to unleash powerful divine power from all angles around Lin Ling and attack Lin Ling. Lin Ling's interest was piqued by such a method. After a moment of careful observation, Lin Ling did not hold back anymore. His divine power erupted and he punched out in all directions. Boom! Boom! A dull sound rang out, and the white snow around the explosion shot up into the sky. All of Lin Ziyu's tricks were broken by Lin Ling. So powerful! Lin Ziyu was secretly shocked. Not only was the man in front of her powerful divine power, but he was also very good at comprehending divine abilities. The technique she used earlier was called Divine Power Forbidden Divine Technique. It was a divine ability that the Origin Returning Tao sect did not pass on to others. She could use her divine power to silently kill her opponent before they noticed. Of course, this technique was only effective against gods of the same realm. Although Lin Ling's realm was the same as hers, his divine power was much stronger. Therefore, the effect was not that great. What was amazing was that Lin Ling could see through her divine power forbidden divine technique. Your Excellency, I have lost. Lin Ziyu cupped her hands and said to Lin Ling, it's fine. What was your previous technique? Lin Ling said with a smile. His soul force was powerful, so he was able to detect the hidden power of divinity in the surroundings. However, he was only able to roughly detect it. If he could control this method, although it wouldn't be considered a trump card, it would still be able to catch his enemies off guard in battle. This is a divine ability that the origin returning Dao sect does not pass on to others. Lin Ziyu smiled. She pondered for a moment and suddenly said, Your Excellency, you must be here because you want to join the origin returning Dao sect. If you join the origin returning Dao sect, you can learn the previous techniques. Moreover, your divine power is not weak. You are qualified to become a disciple of the origin returning Dao sect. Disciple? Lin Ling shook his head. Just as he was about to say something, the experts in the distance walked over. The more he looked, the more he liked Lin Ling's sect, the more he smiled and said, Your Excellency, you must have heard of the origin returning Dao sect. Your Excellency, I have your origin sect. Lin Ling stared at the old man, discovering that he had the power of a high god. Like I said, he's here because of the fame. Our origin returning Dao sect now has a powerful senior brother. Your Excellency, Your Majesty God, Xie Senior Xie Yu. The surrounding youths greeted Lin Ling respectfully. Although you joined the origin returning Dao sect later, in the world of gods, the strong are respected. They call you senior brother, so you are qualified to accept it. The old man stroked his beard and said, My name is Ling Guang. You can call me Martial Uncle Ling Guang. This. Lin Ling frowned. These people were too polite, making it difficult for him to speak. After all, he really was not here to become a disciple. He was here for a god called Daoist Yuan. It's fine. Our origin returning Dao sect is very easy to talk to. You don't have to be too restrained. Martial Uncle Ling Guang thought that Lin Ling was flattered. At this point, Lin Ling knew that he had no choice but to say his purpose. He shook his head and said, Senior, I'm really not here to become a disciple. Everyone was still chatting enthusiastically. When they heard Lin Ling's words, their laughter suddenly stopped. Martial Uncle Ling Guang frowned and said in a low voice, Then what are you doing here? I'm here to find a person called Daoist Yuan. I'm here to deliver a letter to him. I'm here to complete a task for someone. Lin Ling said bluntly. Not here to become a disciple. Why didn't this guy say so earlier? He made us happy for nothing. I'm calling him senior brother. Humph, so embarrassing. The faces of the disciples instantly turned cold. It was obvious that they were in a bad mood. Nonsense, if you're not here to become a disciple, why didn't you say so earlier? Martial Uncle Ling Guang's voice also became dignified. Previously, they had thought that Lin Ling was here to become a disciple. Now that they had been rejected by Lin Ling, they felt that they could not put down their faces. Moreover, their origin returning Dao sect was a famous Dao sect during the Age of the Gods. There were countless people who wanted to join their Dao sect. Now that they had given Lin Ling a chance, Lin Ling had actually rejected them. This was also a humiliation to the origin returning Dao sect. I wanted to say it earlier but you didn't even have the chance to. However, it was my fault. I apologize here. Lin Ling said indifferently, I wonder where Daoist Yuan is? Where can I see him? Humph, you're just a mere junior. What qualifications do you have to see Daoist Yuan? He's an eagle in the sky and you're a pile of shit on the ground. You don't have the qualifications to see him. Leave by yourself. Martial Uncle Ling Guang coldly snorted and his tone became even worse. Lin Ling's voice instantly turned cold. He had already apologized for the misunderstanding earlier. Who knew that these people would still refuse to forgive him? He coldly snorted and said, "What origin returning Dao sect? In my opinion, it's just a petty Dao sect. It's no wonder it's in decline now." You. Everyone stared at Lin Ling angrily. "Alright, I'm here to deliver a letter on behalf of someone. Take it or leave it. In any case, I've already brought the letter." Lin Ling ignored them. He threw down the letter and strode away. What a rude brat. Martial uncle, teach him a lesson. That's right. He actually dared to insult the origin returning Dao sect. All the disciples were enraged. Lin Ziyu continuously spoke up for Lin Ling. From the bottom of her heart, she believed that Lin Ling did not insult the origin returning Dao sect. After all, it was their wishful thinking from the beginning. Lin Ling did not agree to it at all. Now that Lin Ling had rejected them, the origin returning Dao sect seemed to be angry from embarrassment. Forget it. Now that the origin returning Dao sect is in trouble, consider him lucky. Let's go. Martial Uncle Ling Guang originally wanted to teach Lin Ling a lesson. However, when he thought of the origin returning Dao sect's recent encounters, he held back. Martial Uncle, this letter. Lin Ziyu looked at the envelope on the ground. Martial Uncle Ling Guang coldly snorted and said, "Who cares about him? If you want to take it, then take it." Hearing this, Lin Ziyu could only take the letter and leave with the crowd. At the same time, she looked at the letter and saw that it had a mysterious seal. It seemed to be extremely powerful. Martial Uncle Ling Guang, that person was so arrogant. However, it seems like he's very confident. What if he really knows Martial Uncle Yi Yuan? Along the way, someone asked. Humph, he's just a middle celestial. What right does he have to know Martial Uncle Yi Yuan? Ling Guang said disdainfully. The white-haired old man glared at him, scaring Ling Guang into silence. The white-haired elder continued, "This is no longer the era of the gods, but the era of the gods from several eras. There are many divine sects that are more powerful than the origin returning Dao sect. You should keep a low profile. When you find that fellow Daoist, you must apologize to him. Remember, you must call him fellow Daoist, not brat." "Senior brother, I understand." Ling Guang also knew that he had gotten himself into trouble and did not dare to be arrogant anymore. Everyone split up to search. At this moment, on the other side, Lin Ling was walking alone. He was puzzled. He had wanted to hand over the letter and obtain 100,000 Dao realm fragments, but he had encountered such a situation. Now, how to obtain the Dao realm fragments was giving him a headache. Right, let's go to the four-sided prison and ask. Lin Ling pondered for a moment before entering the four-sided prison. He first found Old Man San Gui to ask, but Old Man San Gui could not help him. This was because Old Man San Gui only knew about the Dao realm and was not familiar with the Dao pagoda. Although there were many ways to obtain Dao realm fragments in the Dao realm, there were too few of them. Then, Old Man San Gui recommended Lin Ling to find Guang Qingzi. Lin Ling nodded and went to the prison where Guang Qingzi was. Guang Qingzi seemed to have known that Lin Ling would come and was already waiting for him with a smile. "Lin Ling, you must be having a headache over the Dao realm fragments. Senior Guang Qingzi, you can predict the future." "Hee, it's not that I can predict the future, but if you want to grow, the best way is to obtain the Dao realm fragments or enter the Dao pagoda. However, entering the Dao pagoda, the Dao realm fragments are still indispensable. Then Senior Guang Qingzi has a way." Lin Ling's eyes lit up. Senior Guang Qingzi had been waiting for him for a long time. Could it be that he wanted to help him? If it was in the past, I naturally wouldn't care. However, you are the host body of the eighth will of the world. You must become stronger. Although your current strength is not bad, if you were to fight against the three divine gates of White Mountain, your strength is still too weak, let alone fighting against the Tongtian sect. One finger. Therefore, I also want to help you become stronger. Guang Qingzi stroked his beard and smiled. Thank you, Senior Guang Qingzi. Lin Ling was delighted and quickly bowed. He, no need to call me senior. We are of the same generation. Guang Qingzi waved his hand and said, where are you now? Have you entered the Dao Pagoda? Lin Ling hurriedly told him his general direction. This way. By the way, go west of the Dao Pagoda. There is a shrine of ice and snow, and there is a deity inside. He has many Dao realm fragments. If you visit him and help him solve some of his cultivation problems, you will be able to obtain a large number of Dao realm fragments. I estimate that there will be at least 500,000 fragments. Maybe even more. Guang Qingzi pondered. Lin Ling's eyes lit up, but then he shook his head and said, me? Guide him? I can guide some juniors, but I don't think I am qualified to guide an ancient deity. No matter, I will teach you the method. This is cheating. Your Excellency Lin Ling, can you not say that about me? This is not cheating, this is fate. After some conversation, Lin Ling received Guang Qingzi's guidance. It was a white light curtain. After Lin Ling checked it, he found that there was nothing inside, but Lin Ling guessed that if he really wanted to guide that deity, this white light would certainly be of help. Soon after, Lin Ling bade farewell and left the square prison. He wanted to find the shrine of ice. However, as soon as he came out, Lin Ling saw a large number of deities in the distance. Moreover, he saw Lin Ziyu from before. Found it, under the cliff. Someone also discovered Lin Ling and immediately shouted in surprise. Lin Ling sneered and sat down cross-legged. In the distance, the white-haired old man's eyes lit up. He immediately led everyone over and landed in front of Lin Ling. He cupped his hands and saluted Lin Ling. May I ask if you are the emissary of the Yellow Emperor? I am Daoist Yi Yuan. Greetings, fellow Daoist. Lin Ling slightly closed his eyes and remained silent. Chapter 48-25. He guessed that Daoist Yi Yuan knew what was going on. Daoist Yi Yuan and the others bitterly smiled. Daoist Yi Yuan glared at Ling Guang. Ling Guang understood and cupped his hands towards Lin Ling again, saying, I was blind to not recognize Mount Tai previously. I hope you can forgive me. How would I dare to forgive this senior? I'm just a pile of shit on the ground. Your origin returning Dao sect is an eagle in the sky. I'm not worthy. Lin Ling was still sitting cross-legged and cultivating, completely unaffected. Senior brother, look. Ling Guang was about to cry. He could only helplessly look at Daoist Yi Yuan. Daoist Yi Yuan also had a headache. Although the man in front of him was an intermediate god, he was one of the Yellow Emperor's people. He could not afford to offend him. Fellow Daoist, look. I have 100,000 Dao realm fragments here. Daoist Yi Yuan pondered for a bit and handed over the fragments with a smile. Lin Ling finally opened his eyes and glanced at Daoist Yi Yuan's Dao returning to the heavens. Then, he closed his eyes again and said, no need, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Everyone was stunned. Daoist Yi Yuan was indeed a wise old man. He immediately reacted and took out another 100,000 fragments. He smiled and said, fellow Daoist, please put in a good word for us in front of the Yellow Emperor. He knew very well that if Lin Ling didn't care about the fragments, he wouldn't have opened his eyes earlier. After all, Ling Guang's continuous apologies were ignored by this man and he continued to cultivate as he pleased. Only after taking out the fragments did he open his eyes for the first time. As for his previous refusal, the reason was very simple. He felt that the fragments were too little. Fine, we're on the same side. Let's just forget about this. Sure enough, after taking out the fragments, Lin Ling finally stood up. What a joke. Lin Ling came from so far away and was chased away. It was normal for him to want more fragments. After all, Lin Ling didn't suffer for nothing. Of course, of course. We're on the same side from now on. Seeing Lin Ling stand up, Daoist Yuan finally felt relieved. Ling Guang and the others smiled bitterly. After all, money was more practical. Fellow Daoist, why don't you come to the Origin Returning Dao sect as a guest? Daoist Yuan then sent out an invitation. Lin Ling naturally wouldn't refuse. He still had to go to the Shrine of Ice and didn't plan to leave this area for now. He immediately followed Daoist Yuan towards the Origin Returning Dao sect. Daoist Yuan, what happened here? Why are you asking the Yellow Emperor on? Lin Ling asked on the way. It's like this. The nearby god sects sent us an invitation. They said that their disciples would spar and use 8 million Dao realm shards as the wager. The winner would get it. We thought that we would definitely lose, so we didn't agree. However, they said that if we didn't agree, then we would lose. But if we didn't, we offending all the other sections. Daoist Yis. And moreover, they did it on purpose. Their objective was to swindle the 8 million Dao realm fragments. The so-called invitation token was merely an excuse. Daoist Yuan continued. I'll ask the Yellow Emperor on your behalf. Lin Ling said to Daoist Yuan after thinking for a while. You're asking the Yellow Emperor? Daoist Yuan was stunned, flabbergasted, and stupefied. This was because he knew that there were countless capable people in the Yellow Emperor's tomb. Normally speaking, very few gods would only be able to see the Yellow Emperor once. Even if they were lucky enough to see him, it would only be once. If they wanted to see him again, it would be up to luck. But this guy in front of him actually asked the Yellow Emperor personally. Senior brother Yuan, this guy seems to be a fierce person. Ling Guang also sucked in a breath of cold air as he stared at Lin Ling with eyes full of horror. After Lin Ling asked the Yellow Emperor, he frowned and said to Daoist Yuan, the Yellow Emperor has already informed the nearby sects that they will help us at the critical moment. However, we must go to this exchange. Ah. Why? Daoist Yuan blinked. Because I will represent the Gue Yuan Dao sect to win the 8 million Dao realm fragments. Lin Ling said. This. Ling Guang was dumbfounded. What if they lost? However, Daoist Yuan was smart. He knew that even if they lost, the Yellow Emperor would owe them a favor. 8 million Dao realm fragments for a favor from the Yellow Emperor was worth it. Alright, I'll bring Sir Lin Ling to participate tomorrow. Daoist Yuan nodded. Thank you, Daoist Yuan. Lin Ling nodded and followed Daoist Yuan. However, his eyes were cold. Previously, the Yellow Emperor had replied to him. With regards to what had happened here, the Yellow Emperor had also investigated. There were indeed several God Gates exchange meetings, but one of them was very mysterious, and behind them seemed to be the Burning Heart God Gate. Most importantly, this sect had sent a disciple. His background was not small. He was a world will host. Lin Ling had heard of the 9 world will hosts. However, according to the Yellow Emperor, he had never seen this world will host before. Lin Ling knew of only one world will host and was not familiar with it. That was the world will host sealed in the Dragon Valley on the other side of the Kaiyuan River. Therefore, Lin Ling decided to move forward. This was because if the world will host escaped, what would happen to the Dragon Valley? This was what he was most worried about. Lin Ling was indebted to the dragon god of the Dragon Valley on the other side of the Kaiyuan River. He had helped Lin Ling many times. Therefore, Lin Ling would not stand by and do nothing about the Dragon Valley. Chapter 48-26. The location of the sect of all gods exchange was still nearby. What made Lin Ling satisfied was that it was west of the Dao Pagoda. This meant that once the exchange was over, Lin Ling could go and find the Shrine of Ice. And after everything was done, even if he didn't have enough treasures to break through to High God, he would have enough Dao realm fragments to enter the Dao Pagoda. A huge white feather warship flew across the sky. The entire body of the warship was made of the feathers of a huge white feather divine bird. This kind of spaceship could penetrate the void and reach all parts of the universe. At this moment, on the white feather warship, the people of the Origin Returning Dao sect were extremely excited. They gathered together and talked excitedly. On this trip, remember not to embarrass the Origin Returning Dao sect. Ling Guang looked at the disciples and said, because this exchange is based on lifespan. Only those who have cultivated for less than 100,000 years can participate in the exchange, and their cultivation can't be at the High God realm. You are all outstanding mid-gods in the sect. Even if you can't win this exchange, you can't take the final ranking. For you, the sect took out 8 million Dao realm fragments this time. If you win, the 8 million Dao realm fragments will also be rewarded to you. Ling Guang kept saying. The disciples all puffed out their chests, their bodies shining with divine light. Lin Ziyu, your strength has increased a lot. On this trip, remember not to embarrass yourself. A handsome man looked at Lin Ziyu and said. This man looked to be about 25 or 26 years old. His name was Willow Deity, and he had the strength of a peak mid-god. Back then, he was famous in the Origin Returning Dao sect. After the great calamity of the world's will, he went through 300 lives and finally found the Origin Returning Dao sect. Therefore, in the Origin Returning Dao sect, he was the senior of the mid-gods. I understand, eldest senior brother. Lin Ziyu replied respectfully. On this trip, I will definitely raise the prestige of the Origin Returning Dao sect. Moreover, the other party has the Cloud Crane sect, the Entry sect, and the Jade Armor Goblin tribe. These are all old opponents from the age of all gods. I also want to meet them. The man looked into the distance and said indifferently. His words seemed calm, but they were filled with endless confidence. Senior is mighty. All the junior brothers began to flatter Willow Deity. Whether it was during the age of the gods or now, Willow Deity's prestige in their hearts was not low. However, Lin Ziyu and the others secretly shook their heads. They quietly looked at Lin Ling, who was sitting cross-legged in the corner. They guessed that Lin Ling would be the one who would decide the outcome of this exchange. Hey, where's that newbie? Could it be junior brother? Some people also noticed Lin Ling. After all, Lin Ling was too unsociable. Is there a new junior brother? Willow Deity also looked over. Don't talk nonsense. He is not a junior brother. He is representing our Origin Returning Dao sect to participate in the exchange. Lin Ziyu hurriedly said. Him. I've never seen him before. What can he represent? He probably wants to follow us and broaden his horizons. The other disciples smiled faintly. If it weren't for the fact that there were too many elders on the warship, they would really want to show off their might as a senior brother. There were too many disciples and elders in the Origin Returning Dao sect. Therefore, not everyone knew about the matter between Daoist Yi Yuan and Lin Ling. Moreover, this matter was a secret of the sect. Naturally, it would not be easily spread. This was why the disciples did not know about Lin Ling's origins. Only Lin Ziyu and a few others knew. What nonsense are you talking about? At this moment, Ling Guang shouted angrily. The disciples were so frightened that they did not dare to speak. Ling Guang stared at Lin Ling. He originally wanted to explain on behalf of Lin Ling. However, when he saw that Lin Ling did not care, he did not dare to say anything. After all, Lin Ling represented the Origin Returning Tao sect to participate in the exchange. This was the Yellow Emperor's intention. Before he knew what the Yellow Emperor was planning, he did not dare to ruin this matter. Now, he only needed to stop those ignorant fellows from provoking Lin Ling. Willow Deity frowned. He did not understand why Elder Ling Guang was speaking up for the newcomer. However, he did not care. As long as it was not a superior deity, he did not care. After a long time, the warship landed in a snowy valley. Whoosh! Outside the valley, snow and ice intersected. The snowstorm was extremely terrifying. However, what was surprising was that in the valley, the snowstorm could not blow in. This caused everything outside the valley to be frozen while the valley was filled with the fragrance of flowers and birds. In the valley, a large number of gods were gathered. They were all powerful and had divine light protecting their bodies. These gods came from various large sections. Furthermore, they were all extremely famous sects during the era of the gods. Among them, there were even a few large demon clans. After the Origin Returning Tao sect landed, many powerful gods immediately came forward to welcome them. They were incomparably polite. Of course, everyone knew that this politeness was only on the surface. If there was a conflict of interest, this kind of smiling face would instantly turn evil. Daoist Yuan, you guys are late. Didn't your sect leader come with you? The sect leader happened to be in seclusion, so I'm the one leading the team. Your Origin Returning Tao sect is so troublesome. We invited you a few times but you didn't come. But now that you're finally here, you can let us return from the era of the gods get to know each other. The various patriarchs and sect leaders cupped their hands and smiled at Daoist Yuan. It could be seen that the Origin Returning Tao sect was indeed very famous during the era of the gods. Lin Ling followed the crowd and quietly glanced at these people. He frowned slightly but did not discover the aura of the world's will. Junior Sister Lin. The seniors of the sects were getting to know each other, and so were the disciples of the various sections. A young man led a large number of gods and smiled as he walked towards the Origin Returning Tao sect and greeted Lin Ziyu. It's you, Crown Prince Xiang Shu. Lin Ziyu stared at the young man in the lead and her eyes flashed slightly. Junior Sister Lin, it's been many years since we last met. However, Junior Sister Lin is still as elegant as a goddess. Her temperament is truly extraordinary. The young man called Crown Prince Xiang Shu laughed. He looked very polite, but deep in his eyes, there was an undetectable cold light flashing. Humph. Lin Ziyu not only knew the young man, but she also knew his character. She did not bother to say anything and only snorted coldly. Junior Sister Lin is still so unique. Crown Prince Xiang Shu was rejected, but he still did not care. Instead, he smiled and chatted with Willow Deity and the others. However, he sneered in his heart. This slut will fall into my hands sooner or later. When that time comes, I'll crush you under my body. Let's see how arrogant you can be then. Senior Brother Lu. Crown Prince Xiang Shu greeted Willow Deity. So you're here too. It's been many years since we last met. Willow Deity replied with a fake smile. They all knew these people. They had sparred and met many times during the era of the gods. They had even ventured into the cave abodes of the gods and competed with each other. Chapter 48-27. Remember, you were defeated by me. However, Willow Deity also said with a faint smile. Her words made Xiangshu Crown Prince smile and he said without any embarrassment, yes, Willow Deity of the Origin Returning Tao sect was extremely famous back then. Now that I've reincarnated, my reputation is still the same. Of course. Willow Deity said matter-of-factly. However, Xiangshu Crown Prince's eyes were cold after his faint smile. He thought to himself, today, I'll pay you back for all the humiliation back then. I'll let you be proud for a while longer. While everyone was chatting enthusiastically, Lin Ling was still secretly investigating. Unfortunately, he didn't find anything. Why aren't you going to greet them? Now that martial uncles and martial uncles have gone to greet them, and so have all the other martial brothers, why are you still in a daze? A disciple of the Origin Returning Dao sect said unhappily when he saw that Lin Ling was out of place. Scram! Lin Ling didn't even look at the disciple and shouted coldly. You! The disciple didn't expect his new junior brother to be so rude. Little did he know that Lin Ling's trip this time was for the World Will's host body. This so-called Holy Gate, senior brothers, and junior brothers were actually just a fart. After everyone exchanged pleasantries, the exchange began immediately. The exchange was very simple. Every sect took out a certain amount of Tao realm fragments and distributed them according to the ratio. The winner would get the most, followed by the second place. However, the gods didn't know how to control their strength when fighting. Therefore, if they were injured or killed, they couldn't blame anyone. Of course, some gods still had the chance to be protected by Tao realm fragments, so it wasn't a big deal. Then, martial platforms appeared in the valley. As if immortals were fighting, they started fighting fiercely. An ancient barrier was set up around the martial platforms to prevent the power from leaking out. Go, go. This spiritual master scorpion is quite strong. I remember that he was a very ordinary existence back then. After the gods reincarnated, the once powerful ones have fallen. The once weak ones have grown. Cheers and clamors came from all around. Lin Ling watched quietly. At first, he was interested, but gradually, he lost interest. First of all, no matter how powerful a battle between gods was, it would only cause Lin Ling to be slightly interested. Secondly, these gods had held back a little in their attacks. They didn't dare to risk their lives. Sir Lin Ling, what do you think of this exchange? Daoist Yuan asked with a smile when he saw that Lin Ling's goal wasn't on the martial stage but looking around. Boring. Lin Ling said bluntly. He continued to pay attention to the surroundings, looking for the host body of the world will. Daoist Yuan was dumbfounded. He was speechless. What? How dare you say it's boring? A disciple at the side heard this and his face turned red with anger. Originally, when Martial Uncle Yuan personally went to greet them, they were already very unhappy. But who would have thought that this newcomer would actually say that it was boring? Shut up. Who allowed you to speak? However, Daoist Yuan immediately reprimanded these disciples, causing them to stick out their tongues in anger. They could only glare at Lin Ling. Interesting. This guy probably has a powerful background. But he's too arrogant. I don't think he's experienced a life and death battle. Otherwise, he wouldn't dare to say that. Willow Deity also glanced at Lin Ling and shook her head in disdain. The battle in the valley was so intense, but Lin Ling said it was boring. This meant that he didn't understand these battles at all. Ignoring Lin Ling, Willow Deity's gaze fell on the various martial stages. At this moment, the other disciples of the Origin Returning Dao sect were defeated one after another. Even Lin Ziyu couldn't escape defeat. And as time passed, the winner of the exchange gradually became clear. It was actually Crown Prince Xiangshu. Even Lin Ziyu was defeated by him. I didn't expect Crown Prince Xiangshu's strength to increase so much. Willow Deity was secretly shocked. Willow Deity, why don't we have a battle? Let me see if you, a famous figure from the age of the gods, are still as powerful after reincarnating. Or will you be like the Origin Returning Dao sect, declining day by day? On the martial stage, Crown Prince Xiang Shu looked calmly at Willow Deity. His tone wasn't as polite as before. He was looking down on the Origin Returning Tao sect. How dare you? The people of the Origin Returning Tao sect were furious. The former Crown Prince Xiang Shu wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. Come on. Crown Prince Xiang Shu didn't care about them at all. Instead, he waved at Willow Deity. Willow Deity's face was ashen. Without a word, she flew off the martial stage. That's more like it. You have some backbone. How about this, I'll let you make the first move. Crown Prince Xiang Shu had a calm expression. He smiled at Willow Deity's arrival and waited calmly for her to attack. Willow Deity seemed to have been humiliated. She didn't speak. Her divine power erupted and she used all kinds of techniques to attack Crown Prince Xiang Shu. Rumble. Both of them were extremely famous figures. The battle was extremely intense. It could be said that the two of them were the most invincible existences amongst the mid-gods, and no mid-gods were a match for them. Crown Prince Xiang Shu, how did you become so powerful? The people of the Origin Returning Tao sect were shocked. Crown Prince Xiang Shu had already fought hundreds of rounds with Willow Deity. If it was back then, Crown Prince Xiang Shu would definitely be defeated within 50 rounds. Interesting. Lin Ling was also watching their battle. He realized that their divine power had reached 70 million. Among the mid-gods, they were indeed impressive. Of course, what made Lin Ling interested was that he finally sensed a trace of the world's will power from Crown Prince Xiang Shu's body. However, Lin Ling was very sure that Crown Prince Xiang Shu wasn't the host of the Dragon Valley's world's will. After all, the world's will power on Crown Prince Xiang Shu was very weak. It was more like an assimilated god. Back then, the great gods of Spirit Nation also had such means. They could assimilate martial artists into their own and give them immortality. Of course, this method was useful for martial artists. It was completely useless against gods. Therefore, in the Tao realm, the great gods of Spirit Nation rarely assimilated gods. It was probably because they weren't strong enough. Crown Prince Xiang Shu could be assimilated. This meant that the host of the worlds will sealed in the Dragon Valley seemed to be stronger than the great gods of Spirit Nation. Or perhaps, someone was helping him. Rumble. The battle between the two was difficult to determine. It was also the longest battle so far. However, everyone could see that Crown Prince Xiang Shu was calm. On the other hand, Willow Deity was getting more and more anxious. She was almost injured several times. This also affected Willow Deity's battle state. Bang! After fighting for another 15 minutes, Crown Prince Xiang Shu sneered. He seized the opportunity when Willow Deity's divine power couldn't keep up and attacked. He defeated Willow Deity and severely injured her. Go back and learn for a few more years before coming again. Willow Deity, I've said it before. You're no longer the same as before. Just like your Origin Returning Tao sect, you're declining. Crown Prince Xiang Shu looked at Willow Deity proudly. Why didn't you dare to say this to me back then? Chapter 48-28. That's right. I didn't dare back then, but I dare now. What can you do to me? Go back and think about it. Xiang Shu Crown Prince said disdainfully. His meaning was clear, I'm stronger than you now, so you can boast about me. Willow Deity trembled and returned to the Origin Tao sect in shame. The Origin Returning Tao sect sighed, knowing that the 8 million Tao realm fragments were wasted. Daoist Yuan also sighed and looked at Lin Ling. He walked over and said, Your Excellency Lin Ling, are you confident in defeating Xiang Shu Crown Prince? Yes. Lin Ling smiled faintly. Daoist Yuan, you want me to fight, right? Yes. Daoist Yuan nodded immediately. Wasn't this Lin Ling's purpose for coming here? Defeat him? I don't know how confident I am, but I'm very confident in killing him. Lin Ling stood up and walked out of the Origin Returning Tao sect. Daoist Yuan couldn't help but feel happy. With Lin Ling fighting, he should be able to suppress Xiang Shu Crown Prince. Although he didn't know how strong Lin Ling was, since he knew the Yellow Emperor, he shouldn't be weak. When Lin Ling walked out, Willow Deity was walking back. He couldn't help but be surprised. Then, he looked deeply at Daoist Yuan and suddenly understood. It turned out that Daoist Yuan had a backup plan. Be careful. This Xiang Shu Crown Prince's divine power seems to be on par with mine, but his divine power is a little strange. There's a strange power hidden within. Willow Deity warned. Do you think I'm you? Lin Ling didn't even look at him. His words stunned Willow Deity. At this moment, the seniors of the various sects were staring at Xiang Shu Crown Prince on the stage, praising him. I didn't expect Xiang Shu Crown Prince to improve so much. Back then, he definitely wasn't Willow Deity's match. His strength is probably comparable to an early-stage high god. He's a god with a lifespan of 100,000 years. Not only does he grow quickly, but his strength is also incredible. He's really not simple. Hehe, the Origin Returning Tao sect's 800 Tao realm fragments are in our hands. Hearing the clamor around him, Xiang Shu Crown Prince also felt proud. Back then, he was very ordinary. Many gods could easily defeat him. Especially Willow Deity. He could only smile when facing such an expert. But now, these opponents of his had been surpassed by him, greatly surpassed. And this was his first step after reincarnating. In the future, he would enter the Tao Pagoda. I wonder who else from the various divine sects would like to exchange pointers with me. Xiang Shu Crown Prince as he looked at the entire valley. Everyone had witnessed the strength of the Xiang Shu Crown Prince. Without the strength of a high god, it was likely that he would be beaten up badly if he went up against him. However, at this moment, a figure lightly landed on the martial stage. This person was somewhat mysterious, and no one could see through his appearance. Moreover, he possessed the strength of a late-stage mid-god. I am the Azura of the Origin Returning Tao sect. I am here to teach you a lesson. The person that had arrived was precisely Lin Ling. He hadn't casually revealed his appearance, and he'd concealed his identity and strength instead because he was afraid of scaring away the host body of the world will. Who is this? I've never heard of him. I don't know. He's only a mid-god. Can he defeat Xiang Shu Crown Prince with this strength? There was a flurry of discussion all around as they sized Lin Ling up with curiosity. But in the end, most of them were disdainful. Even Willow Deity from the Origin Returning Tao sect had been defeated. Wasn't this person courting death? Who are you? How come I've never heard of you? Is there no one else in the Origin Returning Tao sect that you're sending a piece of trash? Xiangshu Crown Prince looked at Lin Ling with contempt, his eyes full of disdain. He had never heard of Lin Ling either. Plus, he was only a mid-god. Naturally, he didn't think much of him. He pointed at Lin Ling and shot a powerful divine power at Lin Ling. Get out of here. When the divine power arrived, Lin Ling moved and easily dodged it. However, this caused the crowd to laugh at him. They thought that this person who dared to go up would have some ability. Even if he wasn't a match for Xiang Shu Crown Prince, he would at least be able to resist. But who knew that this guy wouldn't dare to take a casual attack from Xiang Shu Crown Prince and could only dodge? That was just a casual attack. Is he here to make a fool of himself? In my opinion, if Xiang Shu Crown Prince gets serious, this guy won't be able to take a single attack. The Origin Returning Tao sect has indeed declined. More disdainful comments came from all around. Uncle Yuan, what's going on? Willow Deity stared at the battle platform and couldn't help but ask. Don't ask. Just watch. Daoist Yuan shook his head and continued to stare at Lin Ling on the battle platform. This made Willow Deity grit his teeth. He thought that since Lin Ling had been sent to the battle platform by Uncle Yuan, he should have some ability. But it seemed that he couldn't even withstand a single blow and was even weaker than him. At least he had fought with Xiang Shu Crown Prince for thousands of rounds before his divine power ran out and he lost. At this moment, endless mockery came from all around. Lin Ling was still indifferent. He seemed to be staring at Xiang Shu Crown Prince, but he was actually still searching for the host body of the world's will. However, he could vaguely sense it, but he wasn't sure of its exact location. It seemed that the only way to lure it out was to defeat Xiang Shu Crown Prince. Alright, enough nonsense. You'd better use your full strength. Otherwise, you won't have another chance. Lin Ling said coldly as he looked away. I won't have another chance. Xiang Shu Crown Prince laughed, but it was an extremely cold laugh. He had focused on sparring today and hadn't killed anyone yet. So he would kill this guy to establish his dominance. Boom! He unleashed his full strength and his divine power shot into the sky. Then, he disappeared as if he had disappeared from the universe. No way, Xiang Shu Crown Prince used his full strength against that piece of trash. Seeing Xiang Shu Crown Prince's aura, everyone was shocked. This was like using a sledgehammer to kill a chicken. Kill me? Lin Ling's expression didn't change, but he sensed the killing intent coming. Great! After killing Xiang Shu Crown Prince, the real deal would probably appear. Lin Ling just stood there quietly and motionlessly. All of a sudden, there was a ripple in the void, and an earth-shattering power of divinity arrived, capable of crushing any mid-level deity. Has it appeared? Unfortunately, Xiang Shu Crown Prince met Lin Ling. Lin Ling sneered and slashed out with his hand like a knife. He didn't use any tricks, just a simple slash. Because the divine power in this slash was twice as strong as Xiang Shu Crown Prince's. 200 million was no joke. Even without the fusion talent, Lin Ling could easily unleash 100 million. Rumble. It looked like an ordinary slash, but it destroyed all of Xiang Shu Crown Prince's attacks. The hand was so close that Xiang Shu Crown Prince stopped breathing. Chapter 48-29. Of course, more importantly, this figure was very familiar. It was the Xiangshu Crown Prince's body. The Xiangshu Crown Prince instantly realized that his head had been chopped off and was flying backward. When he landed on the ground, he rolled. He could not breathe even if he wanted to. His aura was completely gone. Ironically, this guy did not even have the chance to be protected by the Tao realm. He was killed in one move. The entire process was clean and simple. It was to lure out the true host of the world's will. At this moment, there was complete silence. All the seniors of the Divine Gate and the disciples from the various great Tao sects stared at the head on the ground. They were so shocked that they forgot to breathe. Before this, they thought Lin Ling was a joke and would probably be killed by the Xiangshu Crown Prince in one move. But in the end, the Xiangshu Crown Prince who had returned from reincarnation was killed with just one move, or even just one slash. The gap was too big. In the origin returning Tao sect, all the disciples' mouths were agape. Apart from the origin returning Tao sect, even Willow Deity gasped. His face was burning with pain. Previously, he kindly reminded Lin Ling, but Lin Ling laughed at him. He, Lin Ling, was not Willow Deity. At that time, Willow Deity was unhappy, but he was defeated, so he held it in. He wanted to fight back against Lin Ling after Lin Ling was defeated. But now, it seemed that he had no hope of fighting back against Lin Ling. Not in this lifetime. When we sparred last time, he did not use his full strength. Even Lin Ziyu's heart was pounding at this moment. Good, Mr. Lin Ling won. This means that the origin returning Dao sect has won. Daoist Yuan was delighted. He was not surprised that Lin Ling won. He was just happy that Lin Ling had produced a large number of Tao realm fragments for them. Not bad. But it's just a sparring. Why kill? Since you're so heartless, let me have a taste of your strength. At this moment, an indifferent voice suddenly drifted over. Then, an ordinary-looking young man slowly walked over from a corner of the valley. This person wasn't tall, and his hair was tied up. Furthermore, he wasn't wearing the long robe of a deity. Instead, he was wearing the clothes of a martial artist. Who is this man? Such an outfit would undoubtedly make people look down on him. After all, true gods disdain to dress like mortals. After all, gods were gods, warriors were warriors, and warriors were mortals. Who are you? Lin Ling also faintly stared at this person. But, he was actually overjoyed, because he could sense the strength of a world's will from this person's body. This meant that this person was the host body of the world's will that Lin Ling wanted to find. He is the son of our heavenly underworld sect's leader, Lien Letian. Before the person could speak, someone in the distance spoke for him. It seemed to be someone from the Heaven Underworld sect. Most importantly, the members of the Heavenly Underworld sect were all wearing large cloaks that concealed their auras, making it impossible for others to see through their origins. Moreover, none of the divine sects present had heard of the Heaven Underworld sect before. It didn't seem to be a divine sect from the Age of Gods. That's right, we are indeed not a divine sect from the Age of Gods. We are from the current era. What age of desolation, age of gods, they are all farts to us. Only the divine sects that rose up in the current era are the most amazing. The person who spoke earlier said faintly. In a word, it could be said that he looked down on all the divine sects from the age of gods. Sir, what an arrogant tone. An old man immediately said coldly. He couldn't accept this person's arrogant manner. My tone is just as so. That person shook his head faintly. Suddenly, he stretched out his palm, and a total of 500 million units of divine power came out. Puff! Before the divine power arrived, the old man's expression changed instantly. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and said in shock, "Middle stage high god. At least you have some eyesight." That person didn't kill the old man. With a wave of his right hand, all the divine power from before disappeared. This caused all the seniors of the divine sects to stare at this person. They realized that there were quite a few people behind this person. Most importantly, none of them were weak. The Heaven Underworld sect was formed by a group of high gods. Their overall strength was naturally terrifying, so they didn't dare to provoke them. So, you're qualified. Seeing that no one dared to object, the person looked at Lien Letian and continued to walk towards Lin Ling. Lien Letian's expression didn't change. He continued to walk forward slowly. It could be seen that he only had the strength of a mid-level god. However, he still dared to fight Lin Ling when he had already erupted with such strength. This meant that he was confident that he was stronger than Lin Ling. Interesting. Lin Ling stared at Lien Letian. Previously, when the people from the Heaven Underworld sect attacked, others couldn't sense it. However, he clearly sensed that there was another type of energy hidden within the divine power. It was the energy of the underworld. This meant that this group of people came from the underworld. Moreover, the people from the underworld were together with the world's will host. This meant that the people from the underworld were helping the world's will host. Lin Ling had never had a good impression of the underworld. Back then, Ning Qingxin had fallen into the mortal world and reincarnated because of the disturbance caused by the underworld. Moreover, the underworld also had a grudge against Lin Ling. They couldn't wait to kill Lin Ling and bring him to the underworld. However, the current Lin Ling had hidden his appearance and aura, so the people from the underworld didn't recognize him. With Lin Ling's current magical powers, it wasn't difficult for him to hide his methods. In the square prison, there were many people who had such methods. The underworld, the worlds will host, what are they doing here at the Tao Tower? Moreover, they've been here for a long time. Why didn't they fight before? What are they waiting for? Lin Ling secretly guessed. Suddenly, he thought of Xiangshu Crown Prince, and the mystery in his heart was instantly solved. Xiangshu Crown Prince, a figure from the Age of Gods. In terms of strength, he was no match for Willow Deity. However, after reincarnating, his strength had increased by leaps and bounds. And this was the help of the worlds will host. This meant that the worlds will host had come here to find more people like Xiangshu Crown Prince. At this moment, Lien Letian came in front of Lin Ling and sized him up. He frowned slightly. For some reason, this person in front of him gave him a sense of familiarity. However, he was very sure that he had never seen Lin Ling before. Moreover, since he was sealed, the people he knew had long disappeared. Other than the stupid dragons in the Dragon Valley, he didn't know anyone else. Your strength is not bad. Unfortunately, you're still lacking an opportunity to cross the threshold. Lien Letian put away his thoughts and said lightly. With these words, Lin Ling was even more certain of his thoughts. This guy wanted him to become the world's will. Ridiculous. He, Lin Ling, was the 8th world's will host. Among all the hosts, he was ranked 2nd. This guy wanted to take him in. Lin Ling didn't speak and continued to look at Lien Letian. Lien Letian was not surprised by Lin Ling's silence and continued, "What's your name? What if I give you an opportunity?" Chapter 48-30. Gu Long, not a bad name. Yes. Lien Letian nodded with appreciation in his eyes, as if he had taken a fancy to Lin Ling. Are you not interested in the opportunity one mentioned before? Yes. Then, Lien Letian continued. Not interested. Lin Ling said bluntly. That's normal. I know that I need to show you some strength to let you know how powerful I am. Lien Letian nodded seriously and said proudly, how about this, I'll give you a chance. I'll let you have 3 moves. If you can defeat me within 3 moves, I'll admit defeat. Yes. He suddenly looked at the ground and said, it won't be easy to defeat me in 3 moves. How about this, if you can make me take a step back within 3 moves, I'll consider it your win. How about that? Yes. He obviously wanted to show his powerful strength and make Lin Ling willingly submit to him. Lin Ling almost laughed when he heard his words. Let him. He could even kill a mid-stage high god. Was it really okay to let him defeat Lin Ling? Your strength is very ordinary. Yes. Lin Ling shook his head and said disdainfully. Lien Letian was stunned by his words. He had said that Lin Ling's strength was not bad, but Lin Ling said that his strength was ordinary. There was no modesty at all. However, he soon stopped caring. A frog at the bottom of a well did not know how powerful he was. Even if he explained too much, Lin Ling would not accept it. You're right. Now, make your move. Yes. Lien Letian had the demeanor of an expert. He beckoned to Lin Ling, I don't understand. Your strength is so ordinary, and my strength is so good. You're courting death by letting me have 3 moves. Yes. However, Lin Ling still did not make his move. Make your move. It's useless to rely on your mouth. Yes. Even though Lu Tian was displeased, he still smiled politely. The main reason was that he wanted Lin Ling to willingly submit to him. That was why he put on the demeanor of an expert and did not mind Lin Ling's rudeness. Moreover, this person was really thick-skinned. He had boasted that his strength was not bad, but he had completely forgotten that he was the one who had told Lu Tian that his strength was not bad. Furthermore, it was just a polite remark, but this guy actually took it seriously. All right. At this time, Lin Ling finally nodded. He didn't erupt with his innate talent fusion. Instead, he pushed his physical strength and divinity to the peak. Boom! Boundless killing intent radiated from Lin Ling's body. It was the eternal killing world. The divine embryo's aura left everyone stunned. This was because this was an incomparably rare high god divine embryo. A high god divine embryo was something that not even a high god would necessarily be able to possess. In addition, the more powerful a divine embryo was, the more potential it would have in the future. Take the high gods present for example. If they wanted to break through, they would probably need tens of millions of years. Moreover, this was the result of luck and opportunity. This was because the divine embryo's talent was not high. That's right. Lien Lutian stared at Lin Ling's aura and nodded in satisfaction. A high god divine embryo could become one of the most advantageous tombs for him. How could he know that the reason why Lin Ling had erupted with the eternal killing world was to hide his other methods and prevent the netherworld from discovering his origins? Boom! The fist arrived, getting closer and closer to Lien Lutian. Very good talent. Lien Lutian had his hands behind his back, still admiring Lin Ling's divine embryo's talent. The more he thought about it, the happier he became, as if he had obtained a precious treasure. Boom! However, when Lin Ling's fist landed on his chest, his face froze. Green and red intertwined, as if his dantian had been destroyed. Lin Ling floated back, looking indifferently at Lien Lutian. Lien Lutian sucked in a breath of cold air and finally took a step back. Bang! This step also caused the martial stage to explode, attracting countless attention. Didn't you say that you would give him 3 moves and make him admit defeat after taking a single step? Damn, he retreated after the first step. All the gods were tongue-tied and then mocked him. As for the people of Sky Nether sect, they were silent at this moment, as if they were incomparably shocked. This was because they knew Lien Lutian's strength. He could fight an early-stage high god and even kill them. How could he be injured by a mid-stage high god? You lost. At the same time, Lin Ling said indifferently. That was an accident. Let's do it again. Lien Lutian suppressed the violent tumbling of his dantian, gritted his teeth, and said with a smile, I'll say it again. If you can make me take a step back, I'll consider it your win. But you've already retreated before. Lin Ling shook his head. I've already said that it was an accident. If you have the ability, make me take another step back. Lien Lutian almost could not help but roar. All right. Lin Ling nodded, took a step forward, and punched again. His punch did not seem strong, but it suppressed a terrifying physical strength. The combination of the two was naturally not something a mid-stage high god could resist. This kid has a strange power, but he's still a mid-stage high god. This kind of power can only be used once. Now, I'll definitely be able to block the second punch. Seeing Lin Ling's move, Lien Lutian still did not move. It was as if his body had merged with the universe. In his body, the will of the world was tumbling, preparing to resist Lin Ling's second punch. It also formed a hidden force, preparing to counterattack Lin Ling. As long as Lin Ling was injured by the will of the world, then Lin Ling would definitely be defeated and willingly submit to him. Boom! When the second punch arrived, Lien Lutian's body shook and his face turned purple. He discovered that this man called Gulong's second punch was even more powerful than the first. Most importantly, he discovered that the will of the world in his dantian had disappeared after entering Gulong's body. Bang bang bang. In a short period of time, Lien Lutian retreated 3 steps. You retreated again. Lin Ling looked at him indifferently. His calm voice was like a heavy slap to Lien Lutian's face. As soon as he said this, everyone's eyes were fixed on Lien Lutian. Their eyes were filled with laughter. Lien Lutian's face turned green and red, as if he had lost all face. Alright, I've underestimated you. Come, let's have a real battle with our strength. Lien Lutian shouted angrily. He did not expect Gulong to be so strong, forcing him back with 2 punches. Shame. Shameless. Everyone laughed sarcastically. Lien Lutian had been so arrogant, giving his opponent 3 moves. Now, he had been slapped in the face. He was obviously not that strong, but he still had the nerve to give his opponent a move. This was shameless. Of course, while they were laughing, they were also shocked by Lien Lutian's strength. Putting aside the fact that he was thick-skinned, Lien Lutian indeed had some strength. After all, Gulong's 2 punches looked extremely extraordinary. They were probably the same force that killed Prince Xiangshu. Prince Xiangshu could not take it, but Lien Lutian could. It seemed that even Lutian was most likely the strongest existence among the mid-level gods. Are you sure you want to have a real battle with me? Lin Ling looked at Lien Lutian strangely. Chapter 48-31. Alright, I'll fulfill your wish. Alright. Lin Ling nodded. The 3rd stage of talent fusion combined with the murderous aura to form a strange power. Be careful. Alright. Then, Lin Ling did not waste any more words. He rushed forward and punched out. This punch could kill an early-stage high god. Come, I'll show you my strength. Alright. Lien Letian said coldly and unleashed his full strength. However, just as he was about to attack, he suddenly realized that Lin Ling's punch had already arrived. This punch could split the heavens and the earth. The power of a god was incomparably terrifying. It did not even exist among the mid-level gods. You. Alright. Lien Letian roared, but his chest was hit by Lin Ling's punch. Boom. Lien Lishan's body exploded, and the entire valley shook violently. The barrier that had been set up before seemed to be on the verge of collapse. This was the power of a punch. In the origin returning Dao sect, all the disciples opened their mouths wide. This Gulong's full strength was too terrifying. Even Daoist Yuan sucked in a breath of cold air. This was the first time he had seen such a powerful mid-level god. If they knew that this was only a part of Lin Ling's strength, they would be even more shocked. Not good, young master. Alright. Looking at the people from the origin returning Dao sect, they were all shocked. They did not expect to meet someone stronger than Lien Letian. Of course, they knew about Lien Lishan's origin. This was a god who had met the god of the underworld. He was the host of the world will, and his potential was incomparably terrifying. Generally speaking, after he became a mid-level god, no one would be his match. At this moment, Lien Lishan's body exploded and turned into a yellow mist. Then, it condensed and formed a huge human head that floated in the air. You, how dare you destroy my body? Alright. His voice was incomparably ferocious and filled with anger. Everyone stared at the yellow mist that he had turned into and felt a pressure that could crush their souls. What kind of power is this? Could it be the power of the world will? Yes, that's right. Back then, I died under this power. I remember. Has the world will finally appeared? Everyone was greatly shocked. Although they knew that the Dao realm would definitely have a world will, the Dao realm was too big. Normally, it would be very difficult to encounter a world will. And now, this was the first time they encountered a world will host body. Yellow. Lin Ling's eyes flashed. He knew that the will of the world was also divided into different grades. They were respectively black, green, blue, yellow, red, gold, and purple. Among them, purple was the strongest. Yellow meant that his strength was pretty good. The great god of the spirit nation was said to be red. However, the great god of the spirit nation did not seem to know how to control the power of the world. Therefore, his combat power was not strong. "I've been waiting for you for a long time." Lin Ling roared angrily. Not only was he not afraid, he even pounced forward. "With your strength, you have the nerve to give me 3 moves. Do you know that the person who acted so pretentious in front of me last time has already reincarnated? To me, you're nothing." Rumble. Lin Ling rushed into the yellow mist and punched out continuously, causing the yellow mist to disperse. "I'm the host body of the world will." Even Lu Tian let out a loud roar. "Is it that great? Let me tell you, I see the host body of the world will almost every day." Lin Ling's powerful punch broke the valley and blasted Lien Lu Tian out of the valley. Lin Ling burst out with the Quafu Sun chasing boots and rushed out of the valley. Then, he grabbed Lien Lu Tian and ran into the distance. Oh no! The people of the Sky Nether sect were originally in a daze. However, they gradually came to their senses and rushed out of the valley. They were extremely powerful, and there were even late-stage high-level gods hiding among them. However, when they rushed out, they only saw a snowstorm. Lin Ling and Lien Lu Tian had disappeared. "We've been tricked. This person is here for Lien Lu Tian. Find them, we must find them. Otherwise, we won't be able to answer to the Lord." After recovering from their shock, they began to search in all directions. At this moment, Lin Ling activated the Panga's absolute shock and burst out with twice the speed, rushing towards the west at the speed of 20 million worlds. The person he was holding in his hand was naturally Lien Lu Tian. "Who the hell are you?" Lien Lu Tian wanted to resist, but he found that he could not. He was anxious and angry. He was anxious because this person knew his origin but was still not afraid of him. Instead, he kidnapped him. He probably came with a purpose. He was angry because he was the host of the world's will and had been specially nurtured by the god of the underworld. How dare this person kidnap him? Lin Ling ignored him. The means to hide his aura disappeared and he returned to his original appearance. Lien Lu Tian frowned and stared at Lin Ling. The sense of familiarity in his mind became stronger. He was very sure that he had seen this person before, but he could not remember where he had seen him. "It's you." Finally, Lien Lu Tian's expression changed drastically. He remembered everything. Back then, when he was sealed in the Dragon Valley, he had almost escaped. However, he had met a young man halfway. That young man had tricked him and caused the dragon god of the Dragon Valley to discover that he was trying to escape. He had been sealed in the Dragon Valley again. At that time, he had been furious. The escape plan that he had prepared for many years had been ruined by a brat who was still wet behind the ears. Therefore, after so many years, he still remembered Lin Ling. However, he had not expected that the young man from back then had grown to such a level. "I remember now." Lin Ling looked coldly at Lien Lu Tian and said, "Let me ask you, how did you escape?" "I won't tell you." Lien Lu Tian suddenly gritted his teeth. "You have no right to choose when you are in my hands. You can choose not to tell me, but don't think that I can't do anything to you." Lin Ling sneered. "Hee, I am the host of the world's will. I am immortal. Even if you can kill me, after thousands of years, I will still be reincarnated." Lien Letian smiled disdainfully. "Perhaps you don't know this, but many of the 9 world will's host bodies have fallen, but they reincarnated and returned. As for me, I've never died. Reincarnation is even simpler. You may not know this, but hosts of the world's will can devour each other. If you are devoured, how will you be reincarnated?" Lin Ling lowered his head and looked at Lien Lu Tian. As soon as he said this, Lien Lu Tian's expression changed instantly. Of course, he knew this. Could it be that you are also a host of the world's will? Lien Lutian suddenly thought of something and could not help but roar. I don't want to repeat what I said a second time. How is the Dragon Valley now? Lin Ling asked again, his eyes cold. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.